Hello, my flaming fists! It's your boy Zionic Blader, and today we are going to rank all of the Dragonoids. Dragonoid Core has been released in all factions now, so we're going to rank them from worst to best. We are looking at their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. Let's get to it. Number 6. You're going to notice a trend in the first 3 Dragonoids in this list, in that they are just vanilla. Which is a shame considering Dragonoid is the titular Bakugan of the series, so you'd expect all of them to be good. At number 6 we have Aquos Dragonoid. He is the Bakugan exclusive to the stadium, and luckily you are not missing out if you don't buy that hexagonal piece of cardboard. Pretty boring stats in general, and it has an expensive evolution. Aquos already has some really powerful shield and green fist Bakugan, so there is absolutely no reason to play this guy at all. Number 5. Darkest Dragonoid. You see the trend now? Another vanilla Bakugan with boring stats. Its evolution isn't as expensive as Aquos Dragonoid, but just like Aquos Dragonoid, Darkest Dragonoid is outclassed by better Darkest Bakugan with Shield and Fire Fist in their core lineups. Number 4. The last vanilla Dragonoid on our list is Aurelus Dragonoid. Congratulations, Aurelus Dragonoid! You are the first Aurelus Bakugan not to be in the top 3. Same thing with the last 2 on this list, pretty boring stats. What makes this guy above the other 2 is that there was a point in time when you could put him in a deck with Chaos Nillious, but that was way early in the game. Now there are better Bakugan with Magic Shield and Phaedrus Core lineups. Number 3. Chaos Dragonoid. Chaos Dragonoid is one of the few Chaos Bakugan with a Helix Core in its lineup. Unfortunately, Helix and Chaos don't really mix that well. If you want to use a Chaos Bakugan in a Helix deck, maybe try Chaos Howlkor Ultra, but his evolution is a bit expensive. Chaos Trhyno might be the saving grace, but without an evolution, we don't know as of right now. Chaos Dragonoid's evolution is lackluster. It's solid early game, but it isn't good late game. Number 2. Ventus Dragonoid. Ventus Dragonoid in its base form is actually really good, getting over 600 B power if it lands on a Helix Core. Its evolution also comes with the Victor ability of drawing a card, and we all know how great drawing cards is. As of right now, Ventus Dragonoid is the best Ventus choice for a Helix-based deck. There are some Ventus Bakugan with Helix Cores that are good, like Mantonoid Ultra, but they don't really benefit from a deck that is focused around Helix Cores. There are a couple other Ventus Bakugan to keep an eye out though. There's Ventus Turtonium and Ventus Vicerox Ultra. They currently don't have any evolution, but make sure to keep an eye on them because they could take Ventus Dragonoid's spot in a Helix deck. Number 1. Pyrrhus Dragonoid. Duh, Pyrrhus Dragonoid is the boss monster. It has decks centered around him alone. It starts off with low B power, but with its Titan evolution, it can have over 3000 B power when the hero card Dan is on the field. It is a bit slow to get to that point, which is why a deck should be focused around supporting Pyrrhus Dragonoid until it can meet the requirements and help it reach the requirements as fast as possible. Pyrrhus does give you the benefit of action cards that momentarily reduce the energy cost for an action card or give you extra energy for the turn, like Super Fuel, Song of Fire, and Power Ritual. Anyways, this is Zionic Blader. Did you agree or disagree with this list? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know which Bakugan I should rank next, as I chose Dragonoid for today's video due to recommendations from the viewers. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe. Or don't, I'm not the boss of you. Hello my Dunkaroo Dragons, it's your boy Zionic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode we will be ranking each Dragonoid Ultra from worst to best. We will be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Now, when the original $150 Dragonoid Ultra came out, it became apparent soon after that it had an issue with throwing cores. Luckily it had a hyper mode release that helped fix the issue. Because of that, the mold availability of Dragonoid Ultra will play an important role in its ranking. Number 5. Aurelus Dragonoid Ultra. This guy had so much potential, great stats, great core lineup, and a devastating evolution. On paper, he is amazing. But then comes the fact that it is the only Dragonoid Ultra to not have a hyper evolution, making him worthless, as not being able to pick up cores makes you a huge liability. No one wants to go into a brawl starting with 500 B power. Number 4. Hydorous Dragonoid Ultra. This guy has some solid stats, and really as a vanilla, what more could you ask for? The thing is that vanilla Bakugan are only used when there are no other options, or the vanilla Bakugan is just really powerful with its stats. Unfortunately, this guy is outclassed by Hydorous Ultra, which in a Shield Core deck in base form hits 1100 B power after landing on the coveted 400 plus Shield Core, which is the highest any double Shield Core Bakugan has ever reached in base form. Plus, its evolution is crazy, allowing it to act as if all cores attached to your other Bakugan are attached to it, which can have you reach crazy numbers. Plus, unlike other Shield Core Bakugan, this guy is not limited to just being in a Shield Core deck, meaning it can reach even higher potential. Number 3. Now with the next two Bakugan, they can be swapped depending on your preference, but for me, at number 3, I have Pegatrix Dragonoid Ultra. This guy has some solid base stats, but the thing is, it's just a vanilla Bakugan. And, just like Hydorous Dragonoid Ultra, this guy also got outclassed, in this case by Nillious Ultra, who hits 1350 after landing on a Magic Shield Core in base form, compared to Pegatrix Dragonoid Ultra's 1150. Dragonoid Ultra needs to evolve to beat Nillious by just 100 B power, but at 5 to evolve, Nillious can reach a staggering 2150 at peak, which is much better for late game compared to Pegatrix Dragonoid Ultra. Number 2. Hydorous Dragonoid Ultra. Now, this guy doesn't hit the same numbers as the last two Bakugan, however, Hydorous Dragonoid Ultra, for what its job is the best at, compared to the other two Dragonoid Ultras who are outclassed by other Bakugan doing the same job as them. Hydorous Dragonoid Ultra is the best Fist Bakugan for Hydorous, bringing in the nice Pact of Darkness for the deck. Fists are losing its footing in the meta, so it definitely needs Pact of Darkness to help it not worry as much about energy when in the brawl stage. Number 1. At number 1 we have Pegatrix Dragonoid Ultra. This guy hits the highest numbers out of any Dragonoid, well, or else Dragonoid can hit higher numbers, but it can't hold a core, so it's not reliable enough. But Pegatrix Dragonoid Ultra hits solid numbers and is relatively cheap to evolve. It's a vanilla Bakugan that has not been outclassed yet. Pegatrix Dragonoid Ultra fits in with Magic Shield Fire Fist decks that for some reason want a Ventus Bakugan instead of a Aurelius Bakugan. But hey, Ventus brings in some nice action cards, so like why not? But anyways, agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya! Hello my dwelling dragons, it's your boy Zionic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode for Bakugan Battle Planet Rankings, we are going to be looking at Titan Dragonoid. We'll be looking at its overall stats, its evolutions, and its place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 1. Well, it isn't much of a surprise since there's only one, but Pegatrix Titan Dragonoid Core is a solid Bakugan. It has great base stats, but really where it turns heads is with its evolution. Maximus Dragonoid is the instant win Bakugan of the game. With Leah, Dan, and Winton on the field, you instantly win the brawl. It is a bit tough to use, but with its solid base stats and building a deck around it that supports it, it can be quite the threat. Aquos, Hydorous, and Darkus is this guy's biggest enemy, with their negate and destruction cards that can halt this guy in its tracks. This Bakugan isn't the best, but with its instant win effect, it's still worth building a deck around for fun. This Bakugan is good enough to feel okay with the purchase of the Dragonoid Maximus toy, but also not so good where if you don't want to drop that kind of money for one Bakugan, you won't feel too bad. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my loitering lions, it's your boy Zeonic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode we will be ranking each Hydorous Core from worst to best. We will be looking at their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But anyways, let's get on with the list. Number 6, Hydorous Hydorous. This guy is just too weak. Its hyper evolution has stats of a Bakugan in its base form and costs 3 to evolve. This dude is a double shield core Bakugan, but Hydorous already has a better vanilla option for Hydorous shield core decks, like Hydorous Dragonoid Ultra. Hydorous Hydorous has Frost Strike, but really Frost Strike is only good when the Bakugan is good enough to actually be able to win a brawl consistently. Number 5, Ventus Hydorous Core. Oh man, this guy's base stats are amazing with a magic shield on top of it, but it just got cursed with the late release blues, where it will never get an evolution because it released too late and the new season of Bakugan is about to come and take all the attention from Spin Master. Number 4, Phaedrus Hydorous. Solid base stats but a weak evolution. It's like Aqua's Hydorous but for damage instead, and really high damage is only beneficial in Might and Mac decks. But if you're using your energy to play cards that will help you boost Phaedrus Hydorous, you'll have less resources for Might and or Mac. Just pray your opponent doesn't negate Might when you do eventually decide to play it. Number 3, Hydorous Hydorous. This guy's evolution is really neat. It's not worth using, but it's cool because they just added a bunch of innate abilities onto it. But 6 energy to evolve into a Bakugan with 1000 B power is never really worth it. It does have double Helix, but there are better options in Helix core decks, and honestly, Hydorous Bakugan and Helix are just outclassed in general. Number 2, the next two Bakugan are pretty much tied, but number 2 is Darkus Hydorous. Weak base form, okay evolution. Fists are just really weak right now, and the best Darkus Fist Bakugan is Darkus Dragonoid Ultra, so Darkus Hydorous is outclassed. And number 1, Aqua's Hydorous. Weak in base form, but solid when it evolves, with getting a B power boost whenever an action card is used on it. It's solid, but its base form was just too weak for it to ever be played. Aurel's Trox just stomps it. Funnily, the only reason you may actually play Aqua's Hydorous is because of Aurel's Trox, but then again, maybe not, since Aurel's Trox is so good that you're going to want to put all your resources into him instead of Aqua's Hydorous. Wow, these guys are not really that good, which is sad since they're the Bakugan used by one of the main characters in the show. Hey, but at least Armored Alliance has good Hydrouses to look forward to. But anyways, do you agree or disagree with this list? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't. I'm not the boss of you. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my lazy lions, it's your boy Zeonic Blader and welcome to another worst to best. This time we will be ranking each Hydorous Ultra from worst to best. We will be looking at its overall stats, its evolutions, and their place in decks. Due to the announcement of Bakugan Armored Alliance, it is safe to assume that Season 1 Bakugan will not be having any more forms or evolutions released. With that being said, let's get on with the list. Number 5. So basically, number 5 and number 4 are equally bad, but for the sake of this list, I'm going to go with Hydorous Hydorous Ultra. This guy has poor base stats and a mediocre evolution. It is a double shield core Bakugan, but a better double shield core Hydorous Bakugan is Hydorous Dragonoid Ultra. And even then, that Bakugan is just a vanilla. The real kicker is the fact that he is part of the worst starter pack from Wave 1. That starter pack came with Aqua's Trox and Darkus Dragonoid, which are pretty bad, making the Hydorous Hydorous Ultra starter pack the only starter pack with not a single good Bakugan at the time of release. Number 4. Phaedrus Hydorous Ultra. This guy, back in the first wave of Bakugan, was average when people thought 300 base B power was okay to have. However, that is no longer the case. What makes him not the last is that he comes in the starter deck with Aqua's Fangzor and Hydorous Nillious, which are both top tier Bakugan, so that makes up for getting Phaedrus Hydorous Ultra. Also, he has an interesting energy card destruction gimmick, which unfortunately never got explored in the game. If its stats were better, I could see this guy in like a Ventus Pyrus deck, focusing on destroying your opponent's energy while gaining energy yourself. But alas, he is big suck. Number 3, Hydorous Ultra. Okay, this guy just sucks. Like, geez, he's a vanilla Bakugan with average stats. Like, it's not offensive, but... Number 2, Hydorous Ultra. A solid choice for mono Aquos Shield Core decks, though it is the weaker link of the deck, only really being useful for the fact that it brings in 2 Shield Cores. Its evolutions are lackluster and expensive, and this guy hasn't really been good since like Wave 2. Number 1, Hydorous Ultra. Man, I did not like the toy design of Hydorous, but Hydorous Ultra was so good that I accepted it. He has the best base stats in the game, at least he used to, and he is great in Fury decks and early Fire Fist builds. He does not see much play anymore, but back in his heyday, he truly was great. Anyways, this has been Zeonic Blader. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. If you liked the video, hit the like button. Or don't. I'm not the boss of you. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. See you later. Hello, my powerful porcupines! It's your boy Zeonic Blader, and it is time to rank all of the Pegatrixes. Core Pegatrix has been released in all factions now, so we will be ranking them from worst to best. We are looking at their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. Let's get to it. Now, this list was actually harder to make than my last one on Trox, because the top 4 Pegatrix Cores are all Bakugan that I would want to use in a deck. However, the first 2 Pegatrix Cores are actually bad, so at least this part will be easy. Number 6. This one hurts to say because design-wise, this is one of my favorite looking Pegatrixes. But still, this isn't a beauty pageant, so number 6 is going to Darkest Pegatrix. Oh my, 200 B power? Get out of here, what kind of evolution do you even bring? Hyper Pegatrix? All you got is a reroll effect and low B power. Nonsense. Number 5. Here's another bad one. Phaedrus Pegatrix. How can you do this to the flaming Pegasus? This is so sad. Alexa, play the best Bakugan theme song.
What are you gonna do when the odds stack against you? Back against the wall.
Come on, this is just Darkest Pegatrix, even with the evolution having the same effect. Only thing is that this guy has his Magic Shield Core, but still, the next 4 Pegatrixes are leagues better than these 2. Number 4. Now, these next 4 Pegatrixes were tough to place because I like all of them. Heck, depending on your preferences, any of these guys can be the best. But at number 4, we have Ventus Pegatrix. This green horse with wings comes with a Magic Shield Core, but also gets a boost when landing on a Magic Shield Core. Its evolution is actually really good, with the ability of having over 1600 B power if it lands on a Magic Shield. I guess the only issue with it is that as of right now, there are only a couple of Bakugan with Magic Shield Cores as their only cores, making your choices for teammates pretty limited, though this is an issue that will get solved over time. Number 3. Aquos Pegatrix. This is actually the Bakugan that makes me want to build a Shield Core deck. Coming in with some great stats in its base form and gaining a boost when landing on a Shield Core, this bad boy evolves into Hyper Pegatrix with 4 energy, which isn't bad, and can have over 1300 B power, which is crazy. Number 2. Now these next 2 Pegatrixes really work well with each other because of their core lineup, like you can't have one and not have the other. These 2 are essentially staples in any Green Fist deck. On a number 2 spot, we got Chaos Pegatrix. Some really good base stats we have here, especially early in the game, clocking you at over 700 B power when you land on a Green Fist. Then at 4 energy, she evolves into Titan Pegatrix and can have over 1500 B power. Don't bother with the Diamond evolution though. And number 1 is Hydorous Pegatrix. Hydorous Pegatrix is pretty much Chaos Pegatrix in terms of stats, but better. It evolves early and hits hard. It's one of the best Hydorous Bakugan in the game, as well this could be the definitive number 1 Pegatrix on the list. However, we will have to see what kind of action cards Aurelus brings in the Age of Aurelus set that's going to come out eventually. Anyways, this is Zionic Blader. Did you agree or disagree with the list? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe. Or don't, I'm not the boss of you. Bye-bye. Hello my puffy ponchos, it's your boy Zionic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode we will be ranking each Pegatrix Ultra from worst to best. We will be looking at its overall stats, its evolutions, and its place in deck. With the announcement of Bakugan Armored Alliance, it is safe to assume that no other forms or evolutions of Season 1 Bakugan will be released. With that being said, let's get on with the list. Oh wait, there's only 2 forms. Whoops. Okay, well, no, in second place, it's Aqua's Pegatrix Ultra. Oh man, that's rough. I thought Nillious Ultra had it bad with only 3 forms. Oh well, Aqua's Pegatrix Ultra is a solid Aqua's Bakugan. Its base stats are decent, and its evolution is pretty good as well. Not bad, but not super great. I see Pegatrix Ultra in a mono Aqua's Shield Core deck. It hits a nice 1000 B power in base form after landing on a plus 400 Shield Core, which is good, and its evolution isn't expensive. A solid addition for any brawler. Number 1, Heyos Pegatrix Ultra. Heyos Pegatrix Ultra in base form is meh. Luckily it comes with a magic shield to make up for its low B power. Where this Bakugan really shines is with its Diamond evolution. Yes, it has a Hyper Evolution, but in this case, the Diamond Evolution is actually really good. It's a 5 cost, and if you have 2 or more Baku Cores attached to this Bakugan, it gets plus 1000 B power. And with Mega Punch being a thing, it's super easy. This Bakugan is the best Domination Bakugan out there, and the best Domination decks are ones with Pyrus, so getting that evolution within the first few turns should be easy with the cards that Pyrus has to offer. Well yeah, that is apparently it. Supposedly we were supposed to get Aurelus Pegatrix Ultra, but I don't think that's going to happen anymore. Well, I guess we'll find out in the future. But anyways, this has been Zionic Blader. If you liked the video, hit the like button, or don't. I'm not forcing you or anything. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. See you later. Hello my spicy scorpions. It's your boy Zionic Blader, and today we are going to rank all the Fangzors. Fangzor Core has been released in all factions now, so we are going to rank them from worst to best. We are looking at their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. Let's get to it. Number 6, Ventus Fangzor. This dude is just so underwhelming in general. Like, he has an okay damage output, but he has low B power, and all he does is reduce the damage rating of a Bakugan. Like, come on, it's like he knows he's gonna lose the brawl, he just doesn't want to get hit that hard. He doesn't even reduce damage that much. And besides, just play Curse of Darkus and get yourself a better Bakugan. If you absolutely need a Ventus Bakugan with the Shield and Phaedrus Core lineup, for whatever reason, you got Ventus Howlkor Ultra. Number 5, Pyrus Fangzor. Like, you kinda had my attention in its base form with that double strike effect, but you lost me when you only brought 800 B power for a 5 energy evolution. Like, you gotta do better than that. There's a Diamond evolution, but shocker, it sucks. If you need a Pyrus double green fist Bakugan, you got Hyper Mantonoid Ultra and Pyrus Gorthion Core. Unfortunately, those 2 picks are bad late game. Honestly, if you want my opinion, I don't really recommend adding Pyrus to a green fist deck as of right now. The best Pyrus Bakugan with green fist either don't benefit from green fist or are fury based. Number 4, Darkest Fangzor. Again with that double green fist, though this guy isn't bad like Pyrus Fangzor, it comes with Shadow Strike so its stats can get lowered, though I wish its B power was a bit higher. And unfortunately, all of the other Darkest Bakugan with a double green fist core lineup are better. You got Darkest Hydorous with its Hyper Evolution that can be over 1000 B power by landing on a green fist, all for the low cost of 3 energy to evolve. You got Darkest Dragonoid Ultra, which is a beast in general, and you have the upcoming Darkest Cyndeous Ultra. It has some insane base B power, and it's only going to get better with an evolution. Man, this guy is just completely outclassed. Number 3, we got Hydorous Fangzor. He's got that crazy damage output, but you gotta be careful with its B power, especially if you don't have domination, since 100 B power is gonna get steamrolled. Hydorous Fangzor in general is very high risk and high reward. Number 2, Aquos Fangzor. It has some solid stats in general, but where it really shines is with its evolution. When it evolves, you draw 3 cards. Getting card advantage is always good, and it's also great in those decks that use flow to keep the hand full and continue on the flow. Number 1, Aurelius Fangzor. Shield decks right now are incredibly powerful. Aurelius Fangzor has the damage rating of Hydorous Fangzor, but without the risk. Its evolution is an absolute monster, one of the best Aurelius Bakugan in the game that can do a whopping 12 damage if it lands on a shield core, which it will because this guy is a great choice for shield core decks. Anyways, this has been Zeonic Blader. Did you agree or disagree with this list? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know what Bakugan I should rank next, as I chose Fangzor for today's video due to recommendations from the viewers. If you liked this video, hit the like button and subscribe. Or don't, I'm not the boss for you. Peace. Hello my sneaky snakes, it's your boy Zeonic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. This time we will be ranking each Fangzor Ultra from worst to best. We will be looking at its overall stats, its evolutions, and their place in decks. Due to the announcement of Bakugan Armed Alliance, it is safe to assume that Season 1 Bakugan will not be having any more forms or evolutions released for them. With that being said, let's get on with the list. Number 5, Aquos Fangzor Ultra. Oh man, this guy is pretty bad. Like, what's up with bad Bakugan having a Victor ability? Is this some kind of joke? Like, come on, base stats are bad, and my goodness, a 5-cost evolution that doesn't even let him hit a 4-digit B power? Yeesh. Oof. This guy's, oh man. Number 4. Not as bad as the first one, but still kinda bad. Pyrus Fangzor Ultra had some potential with it having average stats and being the only Pyrus Double Helix Core Bakugan at the time of release. But then it evolves into a weak vanilla Bakugan and pretty much Pyrus Nillious Ultra blows it out of the water, making this Bakugan worthless. Number 3, Aurelius Fangzor Ultra. This guy has some good base stats, but its evolution is too expensive to play. It can be played for free, but you need to be down half of your life, and if you're at that point, you're well into the last stages of the game, so what's even the point? I could see this guy in a mono Aurelius team due to the Fire Fist, but other than that, he is not really worth using. Number 2, okay, now we're getting good. Dang, Ventus Fangzor Ultra is a beast. You can splash him into a shield or fist deck, and he is golden. Base stats reach above average levels after landing on a shield or fist core, and with a relatively cheap evolution that hits 1200 B power minimum, what's not to hate? Though, with that B power being said, he is starting to get outclassed with the new Armored Alliance Bakugan that have been shown, but he's still really good. And number 1, Darkus Fangzor Ultra. Darkus Fangzor Ultra is the best Darkus Bakugan with a magic shield core. Solid base stats and cost relatively cheap to evolve, but he does come with Shadow Strike, so he can never have its stats lowered, which pretty much rocks mono Ventus decks due to the reliance on debuff cards early game. So not a bad Bakugan to have. The big thing about Darkus Fangzor Ultra is how splashable he is into many decks. He is self-reliant, and being a Darkus Bakugan, he brings in Pacted Darkus with him as well. Originally, I was going to put Ventus Fangzor Ultra in first place, however, he is too reliant on being in a shield or fist core deck. Don't get me wrong, he is great in those decks, but Ventus really isn't the most splashable faction compared to Darkus. Ventus really only works in Mono Ventus, Energized decks, or as an extra because the Ventus Bakugan itself is great. Otherwise, it has some solid debuff cards, which again, Darkus Fangzor Ultra can roll over. But if you think Ventus Fangzor Ultra should be number 1 on this list, then that's completely fine. But anyways, This has been Zionic Blader, and if you liked the video, hit the like button. Or don't, I'm not the boss of you. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see you later. Hello, my Tyrannosaurus tech decks. It's your boy Zionic Blader, and it is time to rank all of the Troxes. Core Trox has been released in all factions now, so we will be ranking them from worst to best. We are going to take a look at their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. Let's get to it. Number 6. The worst Trox is definitely Aquos Trox. He has no effects, and his stats in base form are one of the worst out of all the Troxes. Its evolution does not help either with its low stats as well. While it does have a magic shield in its core lineup, Aquos Nillious outclasses it completely, and to be honest, Aquos Nillious isn't that good either. It has the same shield and magic shield core lineup, but also comes with an effect, and an okay evolution in Aquos Titan Nillious, at least compared to Aquos Trox. Number 5. Chaos Trox. Chaos Trox is also a bad Trox, and to be honest, the worst Trox could have been this or Aquos Trox. But Chaos Trox at least has an effect. It's not a good effect, but it's still an effect. The big problem with Chaos Trox, excluding the fact that its effect is a Frost Strike, is its Evo. Way too expensive for just 1000 B power. Next. Number 4. Now we are at the part of the list where the Troxes don't suck. At number 4 we have Phaedrus Trox. Now I see where they're going with this Trox. Bonus energy for the turn if you win a battle is something interesting to play with, since Phaedrus does have some cards with similar effects already. Base Phaedrus Trox is pretty good at 500 B power, however its only evolution right now doesn't give it much of a boost in terms of power, making him pretty weak late game. Number 3. Now the position for third place was tough, as both of these next two Troxes are actually pretty good in their respective decks. But I have to give Darkest Trox the third spot. Darkest Trox has some really high base stats, and honestly, he is a good pick for Mono Darkest decks, though he really shines in Mono Darkest with his evolution, Hyper Trox. While its B power is a bit low, his effect of making the player discard is great. I ultimately chose Darkest Trox for the third position because he is really only good in Mono Darkest. Also, Mono Darkest at this point still needs a bit more support before it can be a real threat. Have in mind, because I'm in Canada, I only have play experience with the Battle Brawler set, since the Resurgence set hasn't even come out yet, here at least. Number 2. Ventus Trox, the OG, the face of the Ventus faction. He has some pretty solid base stats and is also the only core Trox to have two evolutions, its Titan and Diamond evolution. Interestingly, the Diamond evolution needs less energy than the Titan evolution to evolve. Diamond Trox is not horrible, but if you're running Mono Ventus, you definitely have to go for Titan Trox. It may be a 5 cost to evolve, however, since Ventus specializes in Turbo, it should not take you 5 turns to evolve it. You also get a nice Energize effect when you win. While he is my favorite Trox, he isn't the best, as I personally only see him being used in Mono Ventus. Number 1. The newest Trox out now and the best. Aurelius Trox is super special awesome. It has a great effect, and honestly its core lineup makes it suitable to be a third Bakugan in a Shield or Green Fist deck. Its Hyper Evolution bumps up its stats and the boost it gets from its effect, and as a cherry on top comes with the Shadow Sneak, so its stats can't be lowered. All for the low cost of 2 energy to evolve. I would say the best use for this Trox is to be in decks with the flow mechanic to really take advantage of its effect. Anyways, that is my ranking of all the Trox cores. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments section below. This has been your boy Zionic Blader, and if you like this video, hit the like and subscribe button. Or don't. I'm not the boss of you. Okay, bye. Hello, my conglomerate coconuts. It's your boy Zionic Blader, and welcome to another Worst to Best. In this episode, we will be ranking each Trox Ultra from worst to best. We'll be ranking them based on their overall stats and effects, their evolutions, and their place in decks. With the announcement of Bakugan Armored Alliance, it can be assumed that there will be no more new forms or evolutions for the Battle Brawlers line of Trox Ultra. But anyways, let's get to it. Number 4. Phaedrus Trox Ultra. With the same core lineup as Phaedrus Dragonoid Ultra and Phaedrus Nillious Ultra, Phaedrus Trox Ultra has some stiff competition, and unfortunately, he does not deliver. His base stats are meh, and despite having 2 evolutions to try to better himself, both of them are underwhelming with effects that only last a turn. Number 3. Hydorous Trox Ultra. Hydorous Trox Ultra is tied with Darkest Hydorous Ultra for having the highest base B power in Battle Planet with 800 B power. Unfortunately, because it is a Helix Core Bakugan, the best cores reduce damage, and because Hydorous Trox Ultra only has 1 damage, it's not going to do anything. Now, you could use him as your team attacker, but honestly, it's not really worth it, because its evolution is too expensive to worth being used, and there are much better options for Helix Core Bakugan to use. Number 2. Hydorous Trox Ultra. Hydorous Trox Ultra is the go-to Hydorous Bakugan for Fist Core decks. It has fairly average stats all around, but because it is Hydorous, it gives you access to some of the best B-power boosting cards in the game, and if you're playing Fist in this day and age, you're gonna need it. Its evolution is alright, it's nothing special, but it does have a reroll effect, which is nice. This guy was primed and ready to get outclassed by Hydorous Hydronoid Ultra, but then we pretty much found out that Hydorous Hydronoid Ultra wasn't going to get an evolution, making Hydorous Trox Ultra the best option for Fist decks. And number 1. The main faction for Trox is the best, Ventus Trox Ultra. At first, it was underwhelming with its base stats and only having a Diamond evolution during the first 3 waves, but with the release of Bakugan Resurgence and Titan Trox Ultra, this guy got way stronger. With Winton on the field, it hits 2000 B power minimum. Now, with Bakugan Armored Alliance, Winton gets a new card called Winton the Hungry. However, rulings have been a bit wonky, so we aren't sure if Winton the Hungry works with Trox Ultra, but if it did, then Ventus Trox Ultra will become substantially better. But anyways, this has been Zeonic Blader. If you liked the video, hit the like button. Or don't. I'm not the boss of you. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my cheating cheetahs, it's your boy Zeonic Blader, and today we are going to be ranking all of the Nillious Cores. Nillious Core has been released in all factions now, so we're going to rank them from worst to best. We are looking at their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. Let's get to it. Number 6. Phaedrus Nillious. Phaedrus Nillious is essentially a vanilla with double strike. Its B power is horrid, and the damage it outputs isn't even that good with the double strike. Its evolution is really bad as well. It's at a 3 cost, so it isn't too expensive, however it doesn't have a boost in damage. Like, if you're going to give bad B power, I would expect a higher damage count. With its base form, I sort of expected an evolution that while it had low B power, its damage would be insane. However, it backpedals last minute and boosts its B power, and in turn, keeps the damage the same, causing the evolution to suck in general. Number 5. Hydorous Nillious. Hydorous Nillious fits into a magic shield deck as a 3rd Bakugan, however Ventus Pegatrix is a better 3rd Bakugan as it reaches higher numbers for B power at a lower cost to evolve, and there isn't really any need for another Hydorous Bakugan in a magic shield deck because of Gorthion Ultra. Number 4. Ventus Nillious. Ventus Nillious is a solid choice for a mono Ventus deck that is focused on energizing, as it takes advantage of the turbo to boost its stats, though it doesn't really hit any amazing numbers with its B power. The next 2 Bakugan on this list I feel can be swapped depending on your tastes. Number 3. Hydorous Nillious. Hydorous Nillious is great in base form with 505. It works best in decks that discard cards because its evolution can be played for free if it's discarded. However, its evolution only has 800 B power, meaning that it can get outmatched late game, as a lot of evolutions being used tend to have 1000 B power or higher. However, Hydorous Nillious is great for those quick, aggressive decks. Though, if you have a fair amount of Fire Fist cores in your deck, I would recommend running Hydorous Garganoid or Hydronoid instead, as they hit higher numbers. Number 2. Darkest Nillious. Darkest Nillious has solid stats all around and comes with 3 evolutions. You can ignore the Diamond evolution because it sucks. Hyper is a better evolution than Titan due to energy cost. Hyper and Titan essentially do the same thing, which is discarding cards for damage, so it's better to sacrifice the B power in return for something cheaper. Darkus Nillious is a great support Bakugan for decks that benefit from discarding cards. And number 1, we have Hydorous Nillious. This Bakugan was what caused the creation of the Magic Shield Fire Fist Core deck, because of how powerful it is. Its base stats are nothing special, however, its Titan evolution is where the hype comes from. Landing on a Magic Shield not only gives it a boost by 200 B power, but it also lets you add an additional Baku Core from the field. And if you choose a Fire Fist Baku Core, you get a boost of 4 extra damage. If you were to roll this Bakugan onto the best Magic Shield Baku Core, and then you chose the best Fire Fist Baku Core, this Bakugan is going to have a whopping 2000 B power and deal 15 damage, which is absolutely insane. Anyways, this is Zeonic Blader. Did you agree or disagree with this list? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know which Bakugan I should rank next, as I chose Nillious for today's video due to recommendations from the viewers. I would also like to thank Hunter Surge from the Brawler Cafe, as he shared the Pyrus Nillious evolution with me that I was waiting for to make this video. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe. Or don't, I'm not the boss of you. Au revoir. Hello my taxing tyrants, it's your boy Zeonic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this video we will be ranking all the Nillious Ultras. We will be looking at its overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. With the recent announcement of Bakugan Armored Alliance, it is safe to assume that we will not be getting any more forms or evolutions for this version of Nillious Ultra. If that does change, however, I will make an update video, but until then, let's get on with the list. Number 3. Oh wow, there's only 3 versions of this guy? Huh, I thought there'd be more considering he's like one of the main Bakugan, but oh whatever. Number 3, Hydorous Nillious Ultra. Now, this version of Nillious Ultra isn't bad per se, but he isn't really that good. His base stats are pretty average and its core lineup is meh. Really, this Bakugan is just outclassed by better options. It has an interesting evolution. If you have Domination, you can play him for 3 energy, but really, if you're playing Domination, you most likely are going to be using Pyrus because of Pyrus Hydorous Domination. And Pyrus has some really great energy manipulation cards, so playing evolutions within the first few turns isn't going to be hard anyways. The best Hydorous Bakugan for Domination, in my opinion, is Hydorous Pegatrix Ultra. Her Diamond evolution is not only a good Diamond evolution, but a good evolution in general, and actually makes me want to play Domination. So unfortunately, Hydorous Nillious Ultra is in the bottom of our list. And number 2, Pyrus Nillious Ultra. Pyrus Nillious Ultra is currently the best Pyrus Bakugan for Helix Core decks. Unfortunately, its base form cannot make use of the plus 600 Helix Core, since then it wouldn't have any damage to deal, but plus 500 is still good. Its base form is kind of low in the B power side of things, but its evolution is a 3 cost, and can hit 1500 B power on a Helix Core, so it's not horrible. With Armored Alliance Aquos Hydrus being super powerful, Helix Core decks are going to start getting some time in the spotlight. So if you want a Pyrus Bakugan in your deck, then Pyrus Nillious Ultra is currently your best bet. And number 1, the main Nillious Ultra himself, Darkus Nillious Ultra. Having a Shield Core deck and not using Darkus Nillious Ultra is just plain silly. He is the boss Bakugan in a Shield Core deck. It starts off with 1000 B power after landing on a plus 400 Shield Core, which is what you're looking for in a good Shield Core Bakugan. Where it really shines is with its evolutions. They are honestly pretty good. Assuming you're using the plus 400 Shield Cores, its Hyper Evolution will be at 1700 B power, which is pretty dang good for a 3 cost. And if you're willing to use a 6 cost evolution, then Maximus Nillious Ultra is also good. Hitting 2400 B power is crazy. Also, the fact that it's Darkus means you have access to Pack the Darkus, which is like the best flip in the game. But you know what? Number 1 and number 2 can be switched depending on your preference. Shield Core decks aren't really getting any support in the next card set, but Helix Core decks are getting Aquos Hydrus, which hits 1500 B power in base form. However, Darkus Nillious Ultra is just more important in a Shield Core deck than Pyrus Nillious Ultra is in a Helix Core deck, and Pyrus Nillious Ultra is in that area where it could get outclassed by another Pyrus Helix Bakugan kind of easily, seeing how the stats of Armored Alliance are. But it is still too soon to call, and due to that, the ranking for number 1 and number 2 can be interchangeable depending on what your preference is. But anyways, this has been Zeonic Blader, and I'm still kind of surprised that we only got 3 forms of Nillious Ultra, but hey, hopefully he gets more representation in Armored Alliance. If you liked the video, hit the notification bell. Wait, what? No. If you liked the video, hit the like button, or don't. Nobody's forcing you or anything. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated, that's what I want to say. So you get updated whenever I upload. See ya. Hello my slurping snakes. It's your boy Zeonic Blader, and today we are going to rank all of these Serpenteze Cores. Serpenteze Core has been released in all factions, so we are going to rank them from worst to best. We are looking at their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. Let's get to it. Number 6, Chaos Serpenteze. Chaos Serpenteze doesn't do much. It feels undercooked. It may be due to it only having a 1-cost Hyper Evolution. Hopefully its Titan or Maximus evolution, if it gets one in the future, will be better than this, but as of right now, it is way too weak. Its evolution can get steamrolled by a lot of Bakugan in their base forms. Number 5, Aqua Serpenteze. It has some really bad stats all around. It's best played in a Green Fist deck due to its evolutions getting a B-power boost from landing on a Green Fist. However, the Aqua's Green Fist spot in decks are already filled with much better candidates, making Aqua Serpenteze outclassed. Number 4, Aurelus Serpenteze. Okay, so I thought Aurelus Bakugan were supposed to be strong? Like that's their gimmick? What happened with Aurelus Serpenteze? With those stats, I'd believe if you told me that Aurelus Serpenteze was a non-Aurelus Bakugan pretending to be an Aurelus Bakugan. Trash B-power for a vanilla Bakugan. Next, number 3, Ventus Serpenteze. Ooh boy. It has some mighty fine base stats, but what a waste of potential. Ventus needed a good double Green Fist Bakugan, but Ventus Serpenteze squandered it by having its evolution boost damage. If only it boosted B-power. Currently, it's the best Ventus Bakugan with a double Green Fist. However, Ventus Ultra might be the saving grace depending on the evolution it gets. Until then, you're better off sacrificing one Green Fist and using Ventus Fangzor Ultra, who is an absolute beast. Number 2, Darkus Serpenteze. Oh, hello there, worst Darkus Hydorous Ultra. What are you doing so high on the list? Oh, everyone else was that bad? Honestly, if this guy had an actual good evolution, I would use it over Darkus Hydorous Ultra, since Darkus Hydorous Ultra's evolution doesn't really boost much in terms of stats. While Darkus Titan Serpenteze does get to a higher number, for 5 energy to evolve it isn't worth it. Number 1, Pyrus Serpenteze. Finally! A Serpenteze that isn't bad. What does fire do? It burns, and that's what Serpenteze does. Its base form is vanilla, but it does have a nice B-power. Its evolution is a bit on the higher side. I would have preferred 4, but hey, have you seen the other Serpenteze on this list? Sheesh. Pyrus Hyper Serpenteze does burn damage when it opens with the Fire Fist. You don't even need to win the match. Funnily enough, you could lose the brawl, but possibly do more damage to your opponent than they do to you. Also, 5 damage is quite the hit. You could possibly force your opponent to use important energy to stop that attack that they would otherwise use to boost their own B-power, giving you the upper hand. And if you win, what's awesome is that the damage done by the effect and the damage done by the attack are different. So if your opponent only had one flip card left in their deck to stop your final attack, your effect may force them to use that flip card, leaving them wide open. Hyper Serpenteze is a bit expensive at 5, but with Song of Fire you can evolve him faster. And honestly, with that burn effect, I'd play around with him in a Fire Fist deck. Anyways, this is Zeonic Blader. Did you agree or disagree with this list? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know what Bakugan I should rank next. as I chose Serpenteze for today's video due to recommendations from the viewers. If you liked this video, hit the like button and subscribe. Or don't, I'm not the boss of you. Peace. Hello my slippery serpents, it's your boy Zeonic Blader and welcome to another Worst to Best. In this episode we will be ranking the T-Pose King himself, Serpenteze Ultra. We will be looking at his overall stats, his evolutions, and his place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 5, Aquos Serpenteze Ultra, the main faction for this Bacchion, and he is the worst. His thing is having Frost Strike. Come on. We've been through this many times before. Frost Strike is only good on a Bacchion that is already good without it. Aquos Serpenteze Ultra has bad base stats, and even with the addition of a Magic Shield Core, there's no point putting him into a deck since Aquos already has really good Magic Shield Core Bacchion to choose from. The nail in the coffin are his expensive evolutions. Hyper and Diamond are bad. What a waste of a Diamond figure. Well, I can barely find diamonds anyway, so the more bad ones there are, the better for me, I guess. Number 4, Darkus Serpenteze Ultra. Darkus is a nice looking faction for Serpenteze Ultra. He looks really cool, but this isn't a fashion show, this is a serious competitive ranking video. So, Darkus Serpenteze Ultra only gets 4th place. Darkus Serpenteze Ultra has some below average stats and a 3-cost evolution with an effect that only lasts a turn and is outclassed by other action cards. Number 3, Hydorous Serpenteze Ultra. Honestly, he has some really solid base stats, and it's a double Shield Core Bacchion, so it could be put into a Shield Core deck. However, its evolution is underwhelming. It's a low-cost Bacchion with mediocre stats, making him outclassed by the likes of Hydorous Dragonoid Ultra and Pandox Ultra for Shield Core decks looking for a Hydorous Bacchion. Number 2, Ventus Serpenteze Ultra. This Bacchion is really slept on a lot, but honestly, he has potential for some crazy shenanigans. First of all, solid base stats with a Magic Shield Core. Its main thing, though, is its evolutions. There is a Hyper and a Titan evolution, but honestly the Titan is the one you want. Average stats, but its effect is crazy. When it opens, you can recharge energy, and in the case of the Titan evolution, you recharge all of your energy. This can lead to some crazy combos, especially with reroll cards being a thing. Number 1, the face of Fury himself, Hydorous Serpenteze Ultra. This guy was part of the Wave 1 meta where he shined with his evolution Hyper Serpenteze Ultra being able to be played incredibly early as it only costed 2 energy. And with 1500 beat power while being in Fury, it was incredibly hard to get over so early in the game. Though nowadays, Fury is losing its steam as having no cards in your hand makes you incredibly vulnerable compared to how it was in Wave 1. But Serpenteze Ultra's mark in Bacchion history will never be forgotten. But hey, do you agree or disagree with my list? Let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my Plasma Pikachus. It's your boy Zeonic Blader and it is time to rank all of the Garganoid Ultras. Garganoid Ultra has been released in all factions now, so we are going to be ranking them from worst to best. We are looking at their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. Let's get to it. Number 6, Phaedrus Garganoid Ultra. Right out of the gate, base Phaedrus Garganoid Ultra has some of the lowest stats out of all the Garganoid Ultras released. His cost to evolve is a bit high for the stats that you get in return. At first glance, the Victor ability of drawing until you get as many cards as your opponent sounds pretty good. However, the fact that it is a Victor ability means that you will be matching your opponent's hand at the end of the turn, which is most likely not going to be as much. It's also super situational. You could be lucky and be facing someone with a deck that has a lot of draws, or you could be facing someone playing a Fury deck. As for its core lineup, there are Phaedrus Bacchion with the same core lineup that outclass it, so there really isn't much reason to have this guy in your team. Number 5, Darkus Garganoid. Darkus Garganoid Ultra in its base form is already outclassed by other Darkus Bacchion with Shield and or Green Fist cores in their lineup. It gets worse when you see how expensive its evolutions are. The Diamond evolution is outclassed by Hyper Nillious Ultra, And the Maximus evolution, while it does have a cool effect that lets you play it in the discard pile, at 8 energy to evolve, it is way too high to use, considering that there are much stronger evolved Bakugan out there that cost less to play, which is an absolute shame because Diamond Garganoid Ultra looks really cool in its toy form. Number 4. Ventus Garganoid Ultra. Its base stats are nothing special. It does bring in a Magic Shield core, so that's a plus. Where things get interesting is with its evolutions. It has a Hyper Evolution at 1 cost to evolve, but it's not really worth putting into a deck. Its Maximus evolution, however, seems like a really fun strategy to play with. It gets 100 B power for each energy card you have. In a turbo deck, this guy is fun to play with. Sprinkle in some Pyrus momentary energy cards like Song of Fire or Power Ritual, and you can get some pretty high numbers. Though I wouldn't rely on a Bakugan like this, as you're going to need at least 10 energy to make the 5 cost to evolve even worth it. And even then, at 5 energy, you should be hitting higher numbers than that. Ventus Fangzor Ultra is a better Ventus Bakugan with a Green Fist, and Ventus Pegatrix is a better Ventus Bakugan with a Magic Shield. So if you want a Bakugan that's more reliable with the exact same core lineup, Ventus Serpenteze Ultra is a good pick, and has a really nice effect where you can energize all your energy when it opens. Number 3. Now, these next 2 Bakugan on the list, depending on your preferences, can be swapped. For me, however, I'm going to place Aquos Garganoid Ultra in 3rd. Aquos Garganoid Ultra is pretty mediocre in its base form, but when it evolves it has a really interesting Victor effect that allows you to copy your next action card, which is essentially like playing 2 of the same card for the cost of 1. Unfortunately, the copy effect only works the same turn as your Victor, limiting on what you can do. But you can make some pretty good combos with this effect, like drawing 4 cards with Think Again, or doubling the damage boost that you get from cards like Meteoric Lance. Number 2. Heyos Garganoid Ultra. This Bakugan is a must-have for any hero deck, making it possible to have 1200 B power in its hyper form if it meets the requirements for only 3 energy to evolve. Hero-specific decks need more support to become a real threat, but when it does, you can count on Heyos Garganoid being great for it. In my opinion, most of the Garganoid Ultras are kind of a letdown. You get these menacing looking monsters, but almost all of them are too slow for my taste. Either their evolutions cost too much, or they need to reach certain requirements to be good. However, there is one Garganoid that is incredibly powerful and can overwhelm your opponent fast. Of course, the definitive number 1 on this list is Aurelius Garganoid Ultra. Landing on a Fire Fist in its base form can have it reach over 1100 B power. Play this guy in the first turn and almost always your opponent won't have an answer for it. It gets even more insane with its evolution. Only 3 costs to evolve and you can reach over 1600 B power. This guy is definitely a must-have for decks with a fair amount of Fire Fist cores. And it's leagues better than the rest of the Garganoids. Anyways, this is Zeonic Blader. I'd like to thank Latherna and Gamralix 2040 for answering questions late at night, which were important for this list to be made. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments section below. Also, comment below what Bakugan you want me to rank next, as Garganoid Ultra was chosen because of recommendations from the viewers. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Or don't, I'm not the boss of you. Bye-bye. Hello, my exquisite eggplants. It's your boy Zeonic Blader, and welcome to another worst to best video. In the past worst to best videos, to make the video, a certain criteria had to be met. The Bakugan had to be released in all forms, and it had to have at least 1 non-diamond evolution. However, with Bakugan Armored Alliance around the corner, it's looking like no other Season 1 Bakugan or evolutions are going to be released. So, for this Christmas season, I will be making a worst to best video every day for the next 24 days. In this video, we will be looking at Mantonoid Core and ranking each one from worst to best. We will be looking at its overall stats, its evolutions, and its place in decks. But enough talking, let's get to it. Number 6. Darkus Mantonoid. Darkus Mantonoid is the only Mantonoid to have an effect in base form. However, its base stats and core lineup are the worst of the bunch. This game is pretty much a B power contest in most cases, making the above average damage this Bakugan has not really worth it, even in decks that use Might and Mac. As when those decks use Darkest Bakugan, they usually use Darkest Hydorous Ultra, since its high base B power is a really good early turn Bakugan to use before enough energy is available for a play with Might and or Mac. While its base effect is a roll effect, a lot of reroll cards are super cheap, and if you're using Darkest, you're probably also using Pyrus, which comes with a 0 cost reroll card that is super easy to get as it's a common. What really makes this the worst Bakugan from the Mantonoid line is its horrendous evolution. It's the fact that the evolution has the B power of a low cost evolution, but instead with a cost of 6. You know what else costs 6 to evolve? Maximus Nillious Ultra. Yeah, enough said. Number 5. Pyrus Mantonoid. Pyrus Mantonoid is okay in base form with 500 B power, but unfortunately its evolution is lackluster. It is a vanilla Bakugan through and through, and even though it costs 2 to evolve, 700 B power isn't going to cut it at all. There are Bakugan in their base form that can beat it in a brawl. Want a better Pyrus Bakugan with a Shield Core? Use Pyrivian Ultra. Want a Pyrus Bakugan with a better Helix Core? Use Pyrus Nillious Ultra. Number 4. Ventus Mantonoid. Putting Ventus Mantonoid in this part of the list is so sad. I had high hopes for it because when you think of Mantonoid, you usually think of it in its Ventus form. I held off doing this video for such a long time because Ventus Mantonoid only had a Diamond evolution, and I was waiting for the Hyper or Titan or Maximus evolution to come out, since I assumed that it would make Ventus Mantonoid the best out of all the other Mantonoids. But to my dismay, Mantonoid has peaked and it's sad. Diamond Mantonoid is the highest B power out of any other core Mantonoid, but it's just a vanilla that costs 6 energy. You're better off just using the Ultra variant. Number 3. Aurelius Mantonoid. Meh. That's all I can really say about Aurelius Mantonoid. It comes with a magic shield, so it makes up for its lousy base stats. Its evolution is also relatively cheap compared to the other Bakugan prior on this list. It comes with a reroll effect, so that's something, but yeah, this Bakugan is forgettable. Number 2. Chaos Mantonoid. Chaos Mantonoid is also another meh Bakugan. The only thing going for it is that it can be put into a Mono Chaos Fist gimmick deck. Is it good? No. Chaos Mantonoid would be the weakest link, in fact, but it can be at least put into a deck, which is more than I can say for the other Mantonoids I talked about prior. And number 1, the best Mantonoid core is Aquos Mantonoid. This is the same as Chaos Mantonoid, it's just more gimmicky. I'd put this guy into a Mono Aquos shield deck. The base stats are alright, but really with a shield deck you would want your Bakugan to be base 1000 B power after landing on a plus 400 shield core. However, currently the only good Aquos shield core Bakugan is Aquos Pegatrix, so the other two Aquos Bakugan teammates can pretty much be anything. What this guy has going for it is its cheap evolution and its super gimmicky effect. To swap a core with your opponent, I smell shenanigans, and it could make for a fun time, which is why compared to all the other Mantonoid cores, Aquos Mantonoid is the best. Well, that was the worst to best Mantonoid cores, and honestly I am pretty disappointed with this Bakugan lineup. Now, it's not as bad as the Gorthion Core line, but I did have some pretty high expectations for Ventus Mantonoid to be good with a proper evolution. But lo and behold, it's most likely not gonna happen, so we end off the list with a gimmicky Bakugan. But anyways, this has been Zeonic Blader. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not forcing you or anything, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever we upload. I mean I'm the only one who's uploading. Yeah, whenever I'm uploading. Well, see you next time. Hello, my googly guacamoles. It's your boy Zeonic Blader, and welcome to another Worst to Best video. In this episode, we will be ranking all the Mantonoid Ultras from worst to best. We will be looking at its overall stats, its evolutions, and its place in decks. With the announcement of Bakugan Armored Alliance, it is safe to assume that Bakugan from Season 1 will no longer have any more forms or evolutions released for it, which is why I'm doing this video without Aurelius Mantonoid Ultra being a thing. If it ever does become a thing, then I will make an update video, but until then, let's get on with the list. Number 5. Aquos Mantonoid Ultra. I cannot see this Bakugan in any kind of deck, even with access to Magic Shield, since Aquos already has some powerful Bakugan with Magic Shields. Aquos Mantonoid Ultra being a vanilla is what hurts it the most, and which is why it's in the bottom of our list. Number 4. Next up is Darkus Mantonoid Ultra. I did see some potential with this Bakugan, as it was the first Darkus Bakugan with a Magic Shield core. However, Darkus Fangzor Ultra outclasses it, and that evolution is a 5 cost. What the heck? You only get 100 more B power in base from evolving, which is not really good. Its effect is gimmicky, however, which is why this guy isn't last place, but still the gap between this and the next Bakugan on the list is huge because of that horrible evolution cost. Number 3. Phaedrus Mantonoid Ultra. Phaedrus Mantonoid Ultra saw some play early on in Fist decks as a Phaedrus Fist Bakugan. Core removal was pretty big back in the Battle Brawlers format, so having a Phaedrus Bakugan to allow you to use the core removal cards was an asset. However, Phaedrus Mantonoid Ultra was the weak link of those decks, as while its base stats were okay, at the end of the day it's still a vanilla Bakugan that gets outclassed late game to much stronger Bakugan. Phaedrus Mantonoid Ultra got lucky because even though it's a meh Bakugan, it never actually got outclassed by any other Phaedrus Fist Bakugan. The only other Bakugan with a double Fist core I could see replacing this guy is Phaedrus Ultra, but its evolution is a 6 cost vanilla. Dragonoid Core was actually a Phaedrus Bakugan that was used in Fist Core decks, but really it needs its own deck centered around it instead of being part of a Fist Core deck to really shine. Honestly, at this point, Aquos or Darkus is a better faction to use in a Fist deck instead of Phaedrus. Number 2, Ventus. I wish I could put this guy as number 1, but honestly, Ventus needs a buff. Don't get me wrong, Ventus Mantonoid Ultra is good. It has good base stats and its evolution is good as well, taking advantage of what Ventus decks do best, getting more energy cards. Unfortunately, Ventus doesn't really do much outside of getting more energy cards and perhaps having a couple good debuff cards to use at its disposal. So it's really only a support faction right now, but if you are going to go mono Ventus, then this guy is a must-have for sure. Number 1, and the best Mantonoid Ultra is Hydorous Mantonoid Ultra. This guy is great in hero decks. Its base stats are decent, it comes with a Magic Shield core, but really the main attraction is being able to play its evolution for free if you have 3 or more hero cards in play. Play some cheap heroes like Shargo and boom, free Mantonoid beatstick to make your opponent shake in their Baku shoes. But anyways, that's Mantonoid Ultra from worst to best. A pretty solid lineup of Bakugan if I don't say so myself. If you liked the video, hit the like button, or not, I'm not the boss of you, but make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. See you later. Hello my dangerous doggies, it's your boy Zionic Blader, and today we will be ranking each Howlkor Ultra from worst to best. We will be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. Let's get on with the list. Number 5, Ventus Howlkor Ultra. Back when Wave 1 was released, Ventus Howlkor Ultra was one of the Bakugan that I really wanted to get. He looks great in green and his base stats are amazing, though I never ended up getting him, which was good in the long run since his evolution isn't that good. It's an expensive vanilla that isn't good past Wave 1. Number 4, Darkus Howlkor Ultra. The main faction for Howlkor Ultra, and unfortunately he isn't really that good. His base stats were average in Wave 1 but are laughable now. Its evolution is a 5 cost, which is on the higher side, and it has 1000 beat power and an effect gaining 1 damage per flip in your discard pile, which isn't that good considering that you don't want to have so many flips in your decks that would make this effect worthwhile in the first place. And 1000 beat power isn't really much these days anyways. Number 3, Hydorous Howlkor Ultra. This dude was actually pretty solid back in release since his evolution had 1300 beat power. 1900 if you use the plus 600 beat power Helix Core, making him quite the dangerous doggy when it came out. Unfortunately, its base stats are too low nowadays to warrant using, and honestly, we don't see many Bakugan with low base power being used unless their evolutions are crazy like Hydorous Nillious, Phaedrus Dragonoid, or maybe Phaedrus Serpenteze Ultra. But yeah, this guy has seen some better days and has retired long ago. Number 2, Howlkor Ultra. This Bakugan was a go-to choice as a Magic Shield Aurelis Bakugan due to his great stats. 505 was crazy back in Wave 1, and adding a Magic Shield to that was crazy. The only other Bakugan that could rival him were other Aurelis Bakugan, though nowadays 505 is average in base form. Its evolution was also really aggressive. It was only a 2 cost, meaning you could have him out within the first few turns of the game, and it was incredibly strong. It gained a damage boost when landing on the Magic Shield, which was great as Magic Shields have massive B power boosts but no damage boosts. It's honestly still fairly solid now, but Aurelis Bakugan with Magic Shield and Fire Fist cores like Aurelis Gorthion Ultra are more in demand, or Bakugan like Aurelis Hydorous Ultra because of course it is. Number 1, Howlkor Ultra. We made fun of this doggy when we only knew of its stats. We thought it was the worst out of all the Bakugan at the time, and even when we found out that it had a double Magic Shield core lineup, we were still not gonna budge. However, with his evolution being released, everyone started loving this puppy. He was used in many Fury decks. His 1500 B power was nothing to bork at, and in Fury he had a 25 damage rating, which was crazy and impossible to beat if using Might and Mac. Though in my opinion, Serpenteze Ultra is a better Fury Bakugan, as its evolution is incredibly cheap and follows the aggressive nature of Fury. 5 energy is what normal speed decks use for their boss monsters, and if you're going to wait that long, your opponent's going to have enough resources to really hurt your Fury game, as in Fury you don't have any cards, and the more resources your opponent has, the more of a disadvantage you are in Fury. Actually, maybe Aurelis Howlkor should be number 1. Anyways, let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya! Hello my bronze bulls, it's your boy Zeonic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. This time we will be ranking each Maxotaur Ultra from worst to best. We will be looking at its overall stats, its evolutions, and its place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Maxotaur Ultra is a Bakugan based off the mighty Minotaur of legend. However mighty this is not. Every single Maxotaur Ultra is bad, so it is tough for me to make a list from worst to best when all of them are the worst. But at number 4 we have Ventus Maxotaur Ultra. The main faction for this Bakugan, and it sets off the tone for the rest of his brethren. However, in his case, he is a vanilla Bakugan through and through with mediocre stats. The only thing this guy has going for it is that he comes in a diamond form so that you collectors out there can feverishly sweat over it. Number 3, Phaedrus Maxotaur Ultra. Honestly, this guy is just a weaker version of Chaos Maxotaur Ultra who, spoiler alert, is ranked 2nd on this list. He has a high damage at the expense of B power, which makes him a candidate for a Might and Mac deck, but decks using Might and Mac exclusively to win are never good. Might and Mac are more of a help for Fury decks early game since their Bakugan tend to have higher damage ratings, but then in Fury tend to even out their B powers to help them in the long run. Number 2, Chaos Maxotaur Ultra. Starting off, we see it have low B power and high damage. High damage could see it play in Might and Mac decks, but then again it has similar problems that I've just discussed with Phaedrus Maxotaur Ultra. It is expensive to evolve, but the only saving grace is that it does let you play a hero card for free, so you could combo it with Max, so at least that's a plus. Number 1, Aurelis Maxotaur Ultra. Funnily enough, this guy is actually quite sought after, as it is one of the few Aurelis Ultra Bakugan only to be released in a single pack. So it is a bit harder to find, but as a Bakugan itself, it's not that good. He was a choice for Helix Core decks back when you only had to play with Wave 1, but because there was no competitive scene back then, that's entirely irrelevant. Helix Core decks are pretty vanilla with no support cards for them, so they completely base off their usefulness from the cards they bring in with their faction. Aurelis barely has any faction cards, and Aurelis Maxotaur Ultra's boost isn't high enough to warrant sacrificing an entire pool of cards to use. But anyways, agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my cylinder Cyclopses. It's your boy Zeonic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode we will be ranking each Cyndeous Core from worst to best. We will be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 5, Hydorous Cyndeous. This guy has a massive damage rating at the expense of B power, but we have been through this already. Having just high damage isn't that good, especially late game, and because this guy never got an evolution, it can never balance out its stats to survive late game. It has a double shield core, but the go-to Hydorous double shield core Bakugan is Hydorous Ultra. Number 4, Hydorous Cyndeous. This guy is just a vanilla Bakugan with a 5-cost evolution hitting stats that would be better off on a 3-cost vanilla evolution. Number 3, Ventus Knight. This guy is like Aurelius Howlkor Ultra if it was bad. It never reaches any high numbers with its B power, and the Ventus Magic Shield spot is already taken by the likes of Ventus Pegatrix. Number 2, Phaedrus Cyndeous. It's just a bad Shield Core Bakugan. Maybe you can put it into like a mono Phaedrus Shield Core deck, but like, why would you even do that in the first place? It is completely outclassed by the likes of Phaedrus Ultra. Number 1, Aquos Cyndeous. This guy could have saved the Cyndeous name, but unfortunately, despite its solid base stats and core lineup, its evolution is mediocre. Its effect is interesting, being put back into the hand at the end of the turn. Honestly, with its stats and the gimmick it's trying to pull off, it being a low-cost card that you can play to activate flow, it would need to be a zero-cost card to even be worth considering being put into a deck with those stats. Like with all Cyndeous Ultras, all Cyndeous Cores are bad as well, which is mind-boggling. Why would you go through an entire creative process to put something into existence and then plague it with all its iterations being bad? Hopefully Armed Alliance redeems this guy, but still, the fact that 2 entire molds are worthless in-game is just sad. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my nightmarish knights. It's your boy Zeonic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. Today we will be ranking each Cyndeous Ultra from worst to best. We will be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Once again we are ranking a Bakugan with no good forms. However, this time around, Cyndeous Ultra was never good at any point in time, which is such a waste of a Bakugan design. But I digress. At number 3, we have Aquos Cyndeous Ultra. This was the first Cyndeous to be released, and I got him for the fact that he looked really cool. However, I was a fool to get him before his evolution released. His core lineup is unremarkable, and his base stats are bad with a Frost Strike, so really, the only way you're going to be able to make use of that effect is if your opponent either misses, or also put a bad Bakugan into their deck. It doesn't get any better when it evolves. First of all, it costs 5 to evolve. When we look at other Bakugan that cost 5 to evolve and compare them to this, it's just a disappointment. Its stats are not horrible, but with so many other better Bakugan out there, why even bother? Number 2, Hydorous Cyndeous Ultra. Same issues as with Aquos Cyndeous Ultra. This guy has mediocre stats with an effect that is only useful if you somehow manage to win. I placed this guy at number 2 because it could be put into a mono Hydorous control deck, but then again, who was playing mono Hydorous control decks in the first place at this day and age? This guy's evolution is also 1 cost less than his Aquos brother, so there's that, but really neither of these guys are anything special. Number 1, Hydorous Cyndeous Ultra. After landing on a Shield Core, this guy has the best base stats out of all the Cyndeous Ultras. But come on, honestly, the bar wasn't set so high in the first place. This guy had potential in Shield Core decks, but honestly was just ignored due to him only having 800 B power after landing on a 400 Shield Core. However, he was outclassed by Phaedrus Ultra, who hits that nice 1000 B power after landing on a Shield Core that you want in Shield Core decks. Hydorous Ultra had potential to evolve into something great, but instead when it evolved, it swapped its B power boost with a damage boost. Like, come on, why would you even switch that? It has 1000 B power for 4 energy, so it's not horrible, But then Pyrus Perivian Ultra evolves into Hyper Pyrivian Ultra for only 1 cost and hits the exact same numbers, so what's even the point of using Cyndeous Ultra? Anyways, agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't. I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya! Hello my updated ukuleles, it's your boy Zeonic Blader, and in this video we are going back to the past to rank Cyndeous Ultra now that Geogon Rising has released 2 more factions of the Bakugan. I'll be ranking them by their competitive viability. So, enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 5, Ventus Cyndeous Ultra. This Bakugan was brought into the game due to popular demand and completely wasted all of its hype. A poor core lineup of 2 shield cores and a stat line of 500 B power and 2 damage, which is way too low to reach any solid numbers. Even if this were to be released in the Battle Planet format, Ventus Hydronoid Ultra is a much better Ventus double shield core Bakugan. Number 4, Darkus Cyndeous Ultra. Not really much better than its Ventus brother, Darkus Cyndeous Ultra at least has the victor ability of having your opponent discard a card. But with that stat line, you will be lucky to get that effect. What makes this Bakugan better is its Helix Core and 4-cost Hyper Evolution with the stat line of 900 B power and 5 damage, and the same victor ability, allowing it to have more potential than Ventus Cyndeous Ultra. Number 3, Pyrus Cyndeous Ultra. A pretty mediocre shield core Bakugan reaching 800 B power in base form when on the plus 400 shield core. It was once the best Pyrus shield core Bakugan, but was replaced by Pyrus Pyravian Ultra. It has 6 damage and can reach 10 damage minimum if core swapped with a Helix or Fire Fist. It has a 4-cost Diamond Evolution with the stat line of 1000 B power and 4 damage, and the effect of gaining 4 damage on a shield core. So, 1400 B power and 8 damage isn't bad for its time, but being a Bakugan Resurgence Evolution meant it wasn't going to be good for that long. Number 2, Aquos Cyndeous Ultra. This is actually a Bakugan that got better over time. Its stats are irrelevant as it comes with 1 Frost Strike. Team it up with a Dark Fire defense and you got a deadly combo dealing over 100 damage, while increasing the cost blocking it. Though Aquos Nillious Ultra is a better option for that. Aquos Cyndeous Ultra has a 5-cost Titan Evolution with the stat line of 1000 B power and 5 damage, and 3 Frost Strike, plus the effect of gaining 5 damage if you play 2 or more cards in a turn. When this came out, due to the base form being weak, it wasn't really worth using, and even when using Dark Fire defense, sticking with the base form is better due to the energy needed to get the effect off. Number 1, Aurelius Cyndeous Ultra. These days you don't really see Aurelius being in the number 1 position, but despite its poor core lineup of double Green Fist and stat line of 801, if it core swaps for a plus 650 magic shield, it can reach 1450 B power, which was once the ideal B power, though when this came out, unfortunately it wouldn't be too long until the new ideal was 1600. Overall, the Cyndeous Ultra line was never really good, and even with it getting a second chance in Geogon Rising, it was completely wasted, with no Cyndeous Ultra really being worth using unless you're a big fan of it. Well, this has been Zeonic Blader with my worst to best of Cyndeous Ultra. It was kind of tough going back to the mindset of 2019, so be sure to check out the original worst to best as well. What do you think? Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below, and be sure to let me know your favorite Cyndeous Ultra. And if you liked the video, hit the like button, or don't. I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my squeaky squids, It's your boy Zionic Player, and welcome to another worst to best video. In this video, we'll be ranking each Krakelios Ultra from worst to best. We'll be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 5, Ventus Krakelios Ultra. Now, this is such a weird Bakugan. It comes with 2 fist cores and starts off with great base stats. And at the time of release, fists were dominant, so with the right evolution, this guy could have been the Ventus Bakugan for green fist decks. But then it evolved and had the exact same B power. What the heck? I have never seen this before. Instead, he decides to put all his good boy evolution points into damage while reducing damage for another Bakugan with its effect. Like, I guess that means he wants to be in Might and Mac now, but at 3 costs to evolve and keeping that 600 B power, even in Might and Mac, that's not very ideal. Evolutions for Might and Mac tend to have a nice buff in B power to make up for their base forms having low B power, but instead this guy does the opposite. What could have been? Number 4, Hydorous Krakelios Ultra. This guy is just a vanilla Bakugan. Honestly, I put him above Ventus Krakelios because Ventus Krakelios is the biggest bamboozle in Bakugan history with its evolution. Number 3, Aquos Krakelios Ultra. Okay, now the Bakugan are getting solid. This is the best Aquos Fist Bakugan. In a prior video I said Aquos Trox Ultra, but it was because I forgot about this guy. He has okay stats all around and his evolution is cheap. The thing is that fists are not very threatening anymore, and peaking at 1150 B power once fully evolved is bad these days, considering 1350 is something Bakugan hit in their base form. Number 2. Now, these next 2 Bakugan are a toughie to place because they are both good, so if you think one or the other should be first or second, I can understand. But at number 2, I have Darkus Krakelios Ultra. This bad boy has some spicy stats after landing on a Helix Core, but the thing is that his damage drops to 0. Yes, I know you could use the plus 300 plus 3 Helix Core, but come on, in a world with Magic Shield and Fire Fist being dominant, you want plus 600 minus 3, or at the very least, the plus 500 minus 1 Helix Core. In base form, after landing on the good Helix Cores, his damage is 0, so making him your team attacker is the best option, and since he evolves at 3 energy, at least you can evolve him so he does 1 damage at the very least. Let's talk about his evolution, because 1800 B power after landing on a plus 600 core for a 3 cost is beautiful. Yes, his damage does go to 1, but the fact that he is Darkus also means that he brings in Pact of Darkus, which is the best flip in the game. Really, if this guy wasn't 0 damage in base form after landing on a core, he would have been the definitive winner. But alas, we are stuck here. Number 1, Hydorous Krakelios Ultra. Energized decks needed support, and this guy came. Magic Shield Core with an innate reroll effect and great B power to boot. It's a 5 cost to evolve with 1100 B power, but the main attraction added to its reroll effect is its Victor ability, letting you energize 2 cards uncharged or drawing 2 cards, which is great. It lets you get more energy for your energized deck and gives you draw power as well. I have this guy at number 1 because while Darkus Krakelios Ultra is great, its low to no damage makes him a possible member for a Helix Core deck, while Hydorous Krakelios and its effects make him a must-have for an energized deck. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't. I'm not the boss of you. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya! Hello my green gorillas! It's your boy Zionic Blader and welcome back to another worst to best video. This time we are ranking Gorthion Core from worst to best. We were looking at their overall stats, their evolutions, and how they fit in decks. Now before I go any further, it's important that you know that all Gorthion Cores suck, so really this video is more like ranking each Gorthion Core from really bad to just bad. Number 6, Darkus Gorthion. Welcome to my masterclass of creating a bad Bakugan. The first thing you need is really low B power in the base form. Next, give it a bad effect. Darkest Gorthion has Shadow Strike, meaning its stats can't get lowered. While Shadow Strike isn't innately bad, all the effect does for Gorthion is make it so that at least its B power is never 0. The damage is above average, however it's not going to take advantage of it, since decks that use cards like Might of Cyndeous and Mac to allow the highest damage Bakugan to win the brawl, use Darkest Turtonium Ultra or Darkest Hydorous Ultra for their Darkest Bakugan slot. Gorthion does get a Magic Shield and Helix Core, which are known to have very high B power boosting effects, but that just makes its B power hit 750 max, which isn't that good when we have Bakugan hitting over 1000 in their base form. But what hits the final nail in the coffin and why this monkey is the worst Gorthion to ever live is with its evolution. Titan Gorthion gives you base form level stats at the cost of 5 energy. When you're paying 5 energy for an evolution, it needs to be good, like Pyrus Hyper Serpenteze or Pyrus Titan Dragonoid, whose effects make them the boss Bakugan of their respective decks. Darkest Titan Gorthion is expensive and not worth using at all. Number 5. Making this list is actually kind of tough since all the Gorthion cores from here on out are very similar in their level of suck. However, for number 5, I'm going to go with the Gorthion that has the most reasons to not use it compared to the others, and that is Aquos Gorthion Core. Now, he isn't as bad as Darkest, but he is completely outclassed. His stats are bad, low B power, and low damage. Usually a Bakugan has at least one stat that is average, but this boy does not. If you want an Aquos Bakugan with only one shield core, use Aquos Pegatrix Ultra. It has better base stats and an okay evolution. If you want an Aquos Bakugan with one Fire Fist, then you'd rather use Aquos Kubo or Aquos Fangzor, which are top tier Bakugan. Aquos Gorthion's evolution is also bad. 900 B power for an evolution that costs 3 is horrendous. Plus, the victory ability with mediocre stats is just laughable. If you want to draw a card with an evolution, just spend 1 energy more to evolve Aquos Fangzor, and then you get better stats and you get to draw 3 cards. No reason whatsoever to use Aquos Gorthion. Number 4. Another outclassed Gorthion. At number 4 we have Ventus Gorthion. The base stats are pretty average, however what really kills it is its evolution. 7 cost for 1000 and a reroll effect. Reroll effect is nice, but 1000 B power is laughable. Take a look at Ventus Hydronoid Ultra, great base stats, and while its evolution is expensive, for 1 more energy compared to Gorthion, you get 2200 B power, which is comically insane. But realistically, the Ventus Bakugan that you want to use in a shield deck is Ventus Fangzor Ultra. Great base stats, and its evolution costs 3 energy less and completely outclasses Ventus Gorthion. Number 3. Chaos Gorthion. The place for 3rd and 2nd on this list are interchangeable. Chaos Gorthion is bad. Double Green Fist is cool, but Chaos already has Chaos Pegatrix to fit that bill. It's not even worth putting in a mono Chaos Green Fist deck. Its evolutions are all vanilla with poor stats. Number 2. Aurelius Gorthion. Aurelius Gorthion has solid base stats. What hurts it is its evolution. A 5 cost for average evil stats with an effect that just makes it an expensive action card that no one would put in their deck. Aurelius already has spots taken for shield core decks like Aurelius Fangzor and Helix core decks like Aurelius Trox Ultra, and no need to use Aurelius Gorthion. Number 1. And the least worst Gorthion is Pyrrhus Gorthion. It's a better Chaos Gorthion pretty much. Its stats don't really get to crazy numbers, but its evolution is cheap and has a reroll effect. When it came out, it wasn't horrible. The fact that it had a reroll effect made him an optional replacement to Pyrrhus Mantonoid Ultra, who wasn't really the best and was used mainly out of necessity for fist decks wanting to use a Pyrrhus Bakugan. But really, people just used Pyrrhus Dragonoid as a 3rd Bakugan in a green fist deck and made a fist/Dragonoid hybrid deck. Age of Orlus does have Pyrrhus Phaedrus Ultra coming out with a solid 701 base stat, so depending on what the evolution is, it could be a contender for green fist decks. But anyways, this was the top 6 Gorthion cores. Did you agree or disagree with me? Let me know in the comment section below. Plus, if you have any recommendations for other videos that I can make, let me know as well. Anyways, this has been Zeonic Blader, and I'll catch you later. Hello, my growling gorillas. It's your boy Zeonic Blader, and welcome to another Worst to Best. In this episode, we will be ranking each Gorthion Ultra from worst to best. We will be looking at its overall stats, its evolution, and its place in Dex. Due to the announcement of Bakugan Armed Alliance, we can assume that there will be no more evolutions and forms of Season 1 Bakugan. So let's get on with the list. Number 6, Aquos Gorthion Ultra. Honestly, this monkey is here because it has no evolution, and besides, it had some pretty big shoes to fill, considering the other Aquos Bakugan with a Magic Shield core are Aquos Pyrivian Ultra that has double Magic Shield cores, and Aquos Cubba, which is a beast, so even if this monkey did have an evolution, I doubt it would have topped those two Bakugan. Number 5, Ventus Gorthion Ultra. I'm gonna be frank. This guy sucks. Like, it's not horrible, I've seen worse, but like, it's way below average. Bad base stats and an expensive evolution with bad stats and an outclassed effect. Like, what's the point of this guy's existence? To teach us a lesson about if there isn't any bad, then we wouldn't know what's good? Whatever, this guy is a filler Bakugan. Number 4, actually, you know what? Never mind, I'm making this guy the worst Gorthion Ultra. How do you feel, you failure? You're worse than a Bakugan with no evolution. Number 4, Darkest Gorthion Ultra. This guy is pretty much the same as Aquos Gorthion Ultra, but instead of having no evolution, it has a bad evolution. It's 1 cost and has low stats and a Victor ability. Like, what's the point of a Victor ability if you're most likely never gonna be the victor? Number 3, Phaedrus Gorthion Ultra. Hey, this one's easy to write about. It's average base stats and the vanilla evolution. It's like the most middling Bakugan ever. Number 2, Hydorous Gorthion Ultra. To be honest, it has some pretty nice base stats. Unfortunately, its evolution is where it falls. It's expensive and its effect is a worse version of Wax because you can destroy your evolutions as well. Like, if it was cheaper, then maybe it would be worth the payoff if you time it right. But because it is a 6 cost, I can't place it any higher. Number 1, Hydorous Gorthion Ultra. Oh snap, thank goodness for this guy. He pretty much saves the Gorthion species as a whole. Great core lineup and great base stats, and it only gets better when he evolves. It's a 5 cost evolution with solid stats, but with an amazing effect that you can choose 2 from. You can get plus 600 B power for the turn, but really what you want to use is the effect that lets you recharge all your energy cards. He is technically a free evolution if you can get him out and use his recharge effect, which is great. Anyways, this has been Zeonic Blader. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. If you liked the video, hit the like button, or don't. I'm not the boss of you. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my tough turtles, it's your boy Zeonic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode we will be ranking each Turtonium Core from worst to best. We will be looking at their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in Dex. But anyways, let's get on with the list. Number 6, Darkest Turtonium Core. This guy is weak and has no evolution. Next. Number 5, Hydorous Turtonium. This guy has a very good core lineup, but that's it. His stats are trash in base form, and his evolution stats are trash on top of it. Like, I get it, Magic Shield and Fire Fist are crazy popular right now, but you're never going to use Hydorous Turtonium, since if you're going to use Hydorous in a deck with Magic Shield and Fire Fist, you're going to use Hydorous Gorthion Ultra because of how powerful that ape is. Number 4, Phaedrus Turtonium. This guy had great potential in being the main Phaedrus Bakugan for a Helix Core deck, but it never got an evolution, so it lives here in the abyss of 4th place. Number 3, Ventus Turtonium. This guy also had great potential in a Helix Core deck, but never got an evolution. Well, it did get an evolution, but it was a Diamond evolution, and it sucks. It throws away the effect established in base form, and instead gives him a Baku Core swap ability that Aquos Mantonoid Core has and does at a cheaper cost with comparable stats. Number 2, Aquos Turtonium. This guy is so high on the list because he has an evolution that doesn't completely suck. It's still bad, but it's not an Aurelius Turtonium levels of bad. It tricks us in base form, having solid stats, but evolves into a sub 1000 B power Bakugan for 3 energy. Number 1, the only Turtonium Core that is actually really good. Chaos Turtonium is great in Fire Fist decks, hitting a very high 1050 B power in base form after landing on a 250 boost Fire Fist core. And it just gets better from there. It evolves into Hyper Turtonium, hitting 1650 B power for only 2 costs to evolve. But anyways, this has been Zeonic Blader. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. If you liked the video, hit the like button, or don't. I'm not the boss of you. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Anyways, until next time, see ya. Hello my treacherous turtles, it's your boy Zeonic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode, we will be ranking each Turtonium Ultra from worst to best. We will be ranking them based off their overall stats, evolutions, and their place in decks. But anyways, let's get on with the list. It's been a while since we've had a list that didn't have a single Bakugan that was absolutely horrible. But hey, at number 5 we have Ventus Turtonium Ultra. Ventus Turtonium Ultra is the worst out of the bunch, which is unfortunate since he is the main faction Bakugan. In base form, he has average stats and is a vanilla Bakugan with a meh core lineup. Having Fist and Shield cores are only good if you benefit from having them, since their natural boosting capabilities are subpar unless you're using a faction-specific Shield core. But his base form isn't why he is the worst Turtonium Ultra, it is his evolution. He is a 4 cost that only has 800 B power, which is sad. He has a Bakucore swap ability, which is more of a troll effect if anything, and is reliant on your opponent using cores for special boost effects, albeit those are very common these days. However, Aquos Mantonoid is a better Bakugan for that. With comparable stats all around as Ventus Turtonium, Aquos Mantonoid evolves into Aquos Hyper Mantonoid for 2 energy, and has the exact same effect as Ventus Hyper Turtonium Ultra, making Ventus Turtonium Ultra outclassed. Number 4, Phaedrus Turtonium Ultra. Oh snap, this guy's base form is solid. Solid base stats and a reroll ability. Plus it comes with a Fire Fist, which is really hot right now. I wonder what his evolution will be. Uh-oh. I'm just kidding. Remember, I said earlier that there are no horrible Turtonium Ultras. 8 energy is a lot and really limits the use of this Bakugan. He only works in one deck, and that's a Ventus Phaedrus deck that focuses on boosting your energy count while lowering your opponent's. We had an energy destroyer Bakugan back in Wave 1 with Titan Phaedrus Hydorous Ultra, but it was bad. Phaedrus Turtonium Ultra is much better with its energy destruction effect being much easier to pull off and having good stats to boot. Its base form is also solid, though its placement in this list is due to how expensive it is to evolve and how niche this Bakugan is, but if you take advantage of its effect, you can really mess up your opponent by destroying their energy cards. Number 3, Chaos Turtonium Ultra. This Bakugan is also a niche Bakugan, but it is easier to play, so it is number 3. Solid base stats once again, and an evolution that reaches 1500 B power with 3 or more heroes on the field. Though out of the other 2 Chaos hero benefiting Bakugan, that being Chaos Garganoid Ultra and Chaos Mantonoid Ultra, Chaos Turtonium Ultra isn't as good. The thing is that 1500 B power for a 4 cost is great, but not amazing, and the fact that you have to pay 4 energy but then also need to meet a certain criteria to get that number or else you'll be stuck with 500 B power isn't that good. I see this guy in a mono Chaos hero deck, but you really shouldn't be doubling up on factions unless you greatly benefit from it. And while a mono Chaos hero deck is kinda cool and gimmicky, it is not the best version of a hero deck as you limit yourself on the most important aspect of your deck. Heroes! The more factions you have, the more heroes you can play. Aquos and Ventus are factions that have hero cards that cost only 1 energy to play, and since they are so cheap, you can play them easily, and them being cheap is important as you benefit greatly with having multiple heroes in play. Number 2, Darkest Turtonium Ultra. Darkest Turtonium Ultra has great base stats and comes with a Magic Shield Core. Its evolution made it a popular pick for Fury decks as it allowed you to discard your entire hand, allowing you to activate Fury. He has a monstrous damage rating and isn't bad with 4 costs to evolve. Though nowadays Fury is kind of losing its steam. The effects you get from Fury aren't really that crazy anymore, with Bakugan being released that get insane buffs just from landing on a specific core and having use of a full hand of cards at all times to boot. Really, Fury these days leaves you incredibly vulnerable. A lot of Fury builds used Pyrus, Darkus, and Aurelis as their factions. Nowadays, Aurelis Hydorous Ultra has been turning tons of heads with its incredible base stats after landing on a Fire Fist core. And because it needs a Fire Fist core to get its awesome stats, Darkest Hydorous Ultra is a better option than Darkest Turtonium Ultra, as it comes with a Fire Fist core. Pyrus Serpenteze Ultra, Darkest Hydorous Ultra, and Aurelis Hydorous Ultra are a lot more well-rounded in comparison to the older style of Fury decks. Yes, you can use Might and Mac with Fury decks that have Darkest Turtonium Ultra, but Aquas can negate those easily. Number 1, Aquas Turtonium Ultra. This guy is great in Helix Core decks. It has a reroll ability in base form along with a stat boosting ability on top of that. Its evolution only costs 2 energy and greatly improves these stats, making him the number 1 Turtonium Ultra. Unfortunately, Armored Alliance Aquas Hydorous was unveiled and hits 1500 B power in base form after landing on a Helix Core. Yeah, that's just base form. Its evolution hasn't even been shown yet, and who knows, the evolution might be bad, but Aquas Turtonium Ultra is on thin ice. You know, it's actually surprising that pretty much all of the Turtonium Ultras are solid Bakugan, but get outclassed by other Bakugan. But hey, do you agree or disagree with this list? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't. I'm not the boss of you. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya! Hello my saucy spiders, it's your boy Zionic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode we will be ranking each Webam Ultra from worst to best. We will be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 3, Darkest Webam Ultra. This Spidey boy in general is just mediocre. It has below average stats in base form and evolves with an evolution that costs too high for the stats that it gets. Its evolution has an Aurelis power effect that gives you Shadow Strike if you have an Aurelis Bakugan in your team, but like, don't even bother with Darkest Webam Ultra because Darkest Fangzor Ultra is leagues better and has the same effect in base form without needing a condition. Number 2, Aquas Webam Ultra. This is just a very mediocre Bakugan in general. It is Aquas with shields, which could make it a candidate for Mono Aquas, but its evolution needs Aurelis to be cheaper, so like that kinda just throws it out the window. Number 1, Ventus Webam Ultra. Not much of a turnout. This guy's evolutions are too expensive and really, the only reason it is number 1 is because there wasn't much competition. This guy comes with a Magic Shield Core, but really, Ventus Magic Shield already has Ventus Pegatrix and Ventus Dragonoid Ultra. Wow. Yet again, another line of Bakugan that are not good. Geez, there sure are a lot of them. It is unfortunate that Pyrus Webam Ultra never got released because it could have been good. Probably would have been outclassed by the likes of Pyrus Pyrivian Ultra, but hey, that's just a theory. Agree, disagree, let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my cozy crabbies, it's your boy Zionic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode we will be ranking each Vicerox Core from worst to best. We will be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 6, Aquas Vicerox. This guy is very mediocre. Its base B power is bad, and its damage while high isn't super high like other Bakugan with low B power. It evolves at 3, but it's really just a mediocre vanilla. Number 5, Aurelus Vicerox. There are so many other Aurelus Bakugan with magic shield cores that are better, so why would you waste that spot on this guy? His stats are bad and has a conditional Shadow Strike, which is silly because Darkest Fangzor Ultra has an innate Shadow Strike, so just use him instead if you want that effect so badly. Number 4, Ventus Vicerox. Wow, a vanilla with no evolution being this high on the list? This guy has the base stats that you want in a Shield Core deck, but unfortunately with no evolution it's bad. Shield Core decks wanting Ventus have the powerful Ventus Hydorous Ultra to choose from instead. Number 3, Heyos Vicerox. This guy had so much potential when we first saw its base form. It had 2 magic shield cores and was not as bad as Pyrus Howlkor Ultra in base form. But then for some reason it evolves into a Bakugan that benefits being in a hero deck. I'm sorry, what? Why? Number 2, Pyrus Vicerox Ultra. Oh hey, a Fury Bakugan that is not worthless in base form. That's actually pretty interesting. Unfortunately, to make up for that, its evolution doesn't hit the numbers other Fury Bakugan hit, making him not as good, but still worth considering if you're in a local scene that uses evil destruction way too much. Number 1, Darkest Vicerox. Honestly, I didn't even know about this guy until researching for this video, and dang, if we had this guy earlier with its evolution, nobody would have used Darkest Turtonium in Fury. It's a Magic Shield Core Darkest Bakugan with solid stats and lets you play its evolution for free by discarding 2 cards. That's great, especially if you want to get rid of cards as fast as possible for Fury. It's such a shame it came so late when Fury is at its weakest, but hey, what can you do? Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya! Hello my crazy crabs, it's your boy Zionic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode we will be ranking each Vicerox Ultra from worst to best. We will be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 5, Heyos Vicerox Ultra. Green Fist Fire Fist Bakugan back in Wave 1 were like today's Magic Shield and Fire Fist Bakugan. You had stuff like Aurelus Garganoid Ultra, Aqua's Fangzor, and Darkest Hydorous Ultra. This guy came out too late however, and even with its Frost Strike ability, it might as well just be a vanilla. Its evolution is way too expensive for what it does, making it the worst Vicerox Ultra out there. Number 4, Aurelus Vicerox Ultra. Mediocre base stats, mediocre core lineup. Its evolution gets a boost of 300 if you play 3 different faction cards in the same turn, and let's be real, that's going to be tough to get off, so this guy's bad. Number 3, Pyrus Vicerox Ultra. He is a better version of Aurelus Vicerox Ultra. It comes with a Magic Shield Core, and its evolution is cheaper. Boost is in damage, which is meh. But anyways, Aurelus Trox is a better version of this kind of playstyle. Number 2, Aqua's Vicerox Ultra. A mediocre Bakugan, but has a solid underdog ability, letting it evolve into a 900B power beat stick, if you can even call it that. I would really only place this guy in a Mono Aqua's Fist deck, but like, why would you even do a Mono Aqua's Fist deck in the first place when you really need Heyos for Holy Flame? Number 1, by far the best Vicerox Ultra is Ventus Vicerox Ultra. Some great base stats reaching 1300 B power in base form after landing on a plus 600 minus 3 Helix core. Its evolution is a bit more on the expensive side, being a 6 cost, but it does reach 2200 B power. However, because it is a 6 cost, you are going to need the power of Pyrus to get you some temporary energy. Just be careful of Wayne because that can really mess you up. A safer option is Ventus Dragonoid, who, while is weaker in base form, has comparable stats when evolved in relation to the cost. Overall, this lineup is mediocre in general. Its only saving grace is Ventus Vicerox Ultra, which is a bit iffy due to its expensive evolution. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my cutie cubs, it's your boy Zeonic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode, we'll be ranking each cubbo from worst to best. We'll be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 5, Aurelius Cubbo. We start off rough with this dude having bad base stats and an evolution that is too expensive with no substantial boost to be worth using in general. This guy has an innate reroll effect, so I guess that's something. Number 4, Hydorous Cubbo. Hydorous Cubbo is pretty bad with low stats all around, and even with Frost Strike, what's the point? At least it's cute, but this isn't a cute contest, this is a... Number 1, Hydorous Cubbo. Number 3, Ventus Cubbo. This is basically just a better version of Hydorous Cubbo. It still isn't good, but I have dubbed the Canadian Cubbo because it was the first Cubbo to come out in Canada and came out before the US in a time where Canada was stuck in Wave 4 when the States was in Wave 6. Now we're stuck between Wave 5 and 6 and the States are in like Wave 8, I think? No one knows actually. Number 2, Darkus Cubbo. Bad stats, but a solid effect, making your opponent discard cards if it opens with the least B power. Spam this to cause shenanigans. Number 1, Aquos Cubbo. I mean, come on. Look at those stats. Look at that face. The king of Magic Shield Fire Fist decks, bringing in a nice B power of 1350 after landing on a Magic Shield Core, and 1750 once evolved. Which may add only costs 2 to evolve, like dang. Plus, this guy gives you access to the powerful Negate, B-Power boosting, and drawing cards of Aquos, making Aquos Cubbo not only the best Cubbo, but perhaps the best Bakugan in the game. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my dorky dragons, it's your boy Zeonic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode, we'll be ranking each Phaedrus Core from worst to best. We'll be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 5, Aquos Phaedrus. Oh hey, double fists. Interesting. If it had a nice evolution, maybe it can be good. Oh wait. There is no evolution. Why? Its base is mediocre, but being double green fist means it could have had a place in a green fist deck if its evolution was good. But alas. Number 5, Aurelius Phaedrus. Oh hey, double fists. Interesting. If it had a nice evolution, maybe it can be good. Oh wait, there is no evolution. Why? Its base is mediocre, but being double green fist means it could have had a place in a green fist deck if its evolution was good. But alas. Whoa, deja vu. Number 4, Darkus Phaedrus. Honestly, I love this guy aesthetically, but his evolution is a vanilla and too expensive. Even with a Magic Shield Core, it's not worth it. Number 3, Pyrus Phaedrus. Another reason not to buy the stadium. Pyrus Phaedrus isn't good. It's a double Fire Fist, which is interesting, but its evolution doesn't even pay attention to that, and instead has a small B-Power boost, which only lasts a turn and needs Aurelius for it to be sizable. Its boost should have been a core pickup boost, but instead, this is what we got. Number 2, Hydorous Phaedrus. Wow, we have stooped so low where a bad vanilla Bakugan is the second best Bakugan and not that far behind the first place one. Wow, like what can I say? Bad stats all around, a 3-cost evolution with no effect and only 800 B power unboosted. Number 1, Ventus Phaedrus. I mean, he still sucks, but I mean, it could be worse. Wow, this line of Bakugan may actually be worse than Gorthion Core. Holy cow, what a shame. This is one of my favorite designs as well. Anyways, agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my forensic Phaedruses. It's your boy Zionic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode we'll be ranking each Phaedrus Ultra from worst to best. We'll be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 5, Aquos Phaedrus Ultra. Pretty mediocre stats all around and comes with the Victor ability of retracting a Bakugan. Just use Ninja Gear. Number 4, Darkus Phaedrus Ultra. Only available in diamond form, making it really hard to get, and really, is it worth it? It has bad base stats, and while its evolution is a strong vanilla, it being 8 cost is too cost heavy, and since its base stats are bad, it will be hard early game to play. Ventus Hydronoid Ultra is cost heavy with high stats, but it's okay because its base stats are solid as well. Number 3, Phaedrus Phaedrus Ultra. Solid stats all around, but for a vanilla evolution, it's too expensive for what you get. Number 2, Hydorous Phaedrus Ultra. Okay stats all around, with a damage boost effect, too bad it's fists. Number 1, Ventus Phaedrus Ultra. It's pretty much a worse version of Fangzor Ultra, with lower B power in base form, a more expensive evolution with comparable numbers, and a worse core lineup. Maybe you can put him in with Darkus Fangzor Ultra for some kind of shadow sneak deck, but Ventus Phaedrus Ultra doesn't have that splash ability that Fangzor Ultra does, which makes it so great. Overall, a mediocre Bakugan in all forms, which is a shame, but at this point I'm not surprised. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my tortellini triceratopses. It's your boy Zionic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode we'll be ranking each Trhyno from worst to best. We'll be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 5, Chaos Trhyno. Starts off with mediocre B power. It has high enough damage to allow it to do something after landing on the plus 600 minus 3 Helix Baku cores, but unfortunately its evolution is too expensive and the stats that it comes with once fully evolved isn't worth the energy. In Bakugan Battle Planet, Chaos doesn't have much for Helix-based decks, but if you are so inclined to use a Chaos Bakugan in your Helix Core deck, then Chaos Howlkor Ultra is a better option. It has comparable base stats, but its evolution is cheaper and stronger. Number 4, Phaedrus Trhyno. Pretty bad stats all around, and of course it has a Victor ability. Yes, the ability isn't horrible, it's like Dan. However, with these stats, the effect would be better off for an underdog ability, not a Victor ability. Number 3, Darkus Trhyno. Mediocre stats all around again. This guy is just a worse version of Darkus Trox. They have the same effects, but Darkus Trox not only has better B power and core lineup, but also doesn't need an Hydorous Bakugan on the team to be useful. Number 2, Aquos Trhyno. Once again, mediocre stats all around. However, for him it's okay because he has an underdog ability. With a Shield Core, he is a possible choice for a mono Aqua Shield Core deck, and drawing 2 cards with underdog is pretty good, especially with mono Aqua since you want to get as many cards as possible for flow. Number 1, Hydorous Trhyno. The saving grace for this Bakugan species. It hits that 1000 B power that you want in a Shield Core deck after landing on a plus 300 Shield Core. But where it really shines is with its Diamond evolution that lets it hit 1500 B power. Plus, it only costs 1 energy to evolve. The only downside is that this is an Hydorous Bakugan, making it unable to take advantage of the plus 400 faction specific Shield Cores. Well, that's the Trhyno Core lineup. Overall, pretty mediocre aside from Hydorous Trhyno, but let's be honest, shields aren't as tough as they used to be. But anyways, agree, disagree, let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button. Or don't, I'm not the boss of you. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, I'll see you later, my brawler boys and gamer girls. Hello, my terrified Triceratopses. It's your boy Zionic Blader, and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode, we'll be ranking each Trhyno Ultra from worst to best. We'll be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. Let's get on with the list. Number 3, Phaedrus Trhyno Ultra. It's a vanilla with mediocre stats, not really reaching any crazy numbers, and no evolution. Number 2, Howlkor Trhyno Ultra. Pretty much just a better version of the Phaedrus form with a magic shield. No evolution once again. Number 1, Ventus Trhyno Ultra. So there's like no evolution of any kind for this Bakugan line. I don't understand. Like, this guy's stats are lower than Aurelius, but at least it has an effect. Each Ventus card you play gives it a boost in damage. It's something, but seriously, what the heck is this? Why is there no evolution for any of these guys? This is the only Bakugan from Bakugan Battle Plan to ever be released and have no evolution forms whatsoever. Oh well. Oh well. Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video? Hit the like button. Or don't, I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello, my gorgeous griffins. It's your boy Zionic Blader, and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode, we will be ranking each Nillious Ultra from worst to best. We will be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 4, Aurelius Nillious Ultra. This guy starts off with solid base stats, plus with its Helix Core, it can get up to 1100 B power in base form, which isn't bad. However, where it goes sour is with its evolution. First of all, it costs too much for the stats that you get, but really, the worst part is its effect. When you evolve this, destroy all energy for both you and your opponent until you both are left with 3 energy. Energy destruction is an interesting gimmick, however, it's supposed to keep you at an advantage over your opponent, not keep you at the same level. Number 3, Aquos Nillious Ultra. Solid base stats with a Shield Core. It could have been a possible contender for a spot in a mono Aquos Shield Core deck, but unfortunately, its evolution has a bad underdog effect. It gives you Frost Strike. Now, until they make a win condition card about whoever has the most Frost Strike wins the brawl, Frost Strike will just be like a victor ability where it's only good if the Bakugan is capable of being able to win the brawl in the first place. Number 2, Hydorous Nillious Ultra. Solid base B power, but fists are not as good as they used to be. Its evolution has okay stats. It's a bit low for the cost, but it has a victor ability allowing you to attach up to 3 green fists to this Bakugan. That's an amazing effect, hindered only by it being a victor ability to a mediocre Bakugan. This guy really only sees a spot in a mono Hydorous fist deck, but it's so high on the list because its competition wasn't that good either. Number 1, Phaedrus Nillious Ultra. All of the good boy points for this species went into this guy, because this dude is part of the meta with Magic Shield and Fire Fist core decks. Reaching 1350 in base after landing on a Magic Shield, this guy's evolution is on the higher side with a 5 cost, but reaches 2150 B power after landing on a Magic Shield, which is great. Overall, Nillious Ultra only has its Phaedrus form being the only notable Bakugan of its species, with everyone else being forgotten, but it's more than I can say for a lot of other Bakugan species. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time. Hello, my wary werewolves. It's your boy Zionic Blader, and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode, we will be ranking each Lupithion Ultra from worst to best. We will be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 4, Hydorous Ultra. Solid base stats with 505, so it having a victor ability isn't out there like other Bakugan with victor abilities, but really with a 7 cost evolution, no way do you want to use this guy. B power needs to be higher for that cost, especially since you want to get that victor ability off. I guess you can put it with Might and Mac, but still, 7 cost is too high for what you're getting. Number 3, Hydorous Ultra. Helix Core Bakugan have a lot of eyes on them lately because of the upcoming Aquos Hydorous. So if you are a Bakugan that has a double Helix Core lineup, you're going to have a lot of eyes on you as well, so you don't want to be caught with your pants down. Hydorous Ultra has some pretty bad stats all around. Most good Helix Core Bakugan are well above 1000 beat power in their base form, or at least make up for that when they evolve. Not only does Hydorous only hit 1000 beat power in base form, but when it evolves, it only gains 100 more beat power for a 3 cost evolution, which is sad. On top of that, it's an Hydorous Bakugan, meaning it doesn't bring any useful action cards to a Helix Core deck. Number 2, Hydorous Ultra. Chaos Bakugan with Domination ability. Domination already has Diamond Pegatrix Ultra, who isn't exactly Domination, but it's still something that melds well with it. Chaos Ultra's base stats aren't anything special, and for some reason, when it evolves, it switches from being a Domination Bakugan into a Underdog Bakugan, which, this Bakugan is pretty mediocre. Next, number 1, Ventus Ultra. It starts off solid, but the evolution is what really catches my eye. The effect is good, but because the base power is still the same even after it evolves, the effect isn't really as impressive as it could be if you only get it off once. With a combination of Ventus and Pyrus energy boosting cards, you can get its effect off more, but due to the high cost needed, it's quite the gamble. However, with cards like Tuskguard and Chaos Suplex, getting the effect off is a lot more easier. But be forewarned, having too many high cost cards in your deck can lead to bricking early on, which really hurts a Ventus Ultra deck early game. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my hexagonal hydras, it's your boy Zeonic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode we'll be ranking each Dragonoid Ultra from worst to best. We'll be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 3, Ventus Dragonoid. This guy has 2 shield cores and is a vanilla Bakugan, automatically putting his focus into a shield core deck. He reaches 800 beat power after landing on the plus 400 shield core, which is under the more desirable 1000 minimum that we want in a shield core deck for a Bakugan in its base form. As well as not reaching that number, it also does not have an evolution, pretty much stunting it with what it's got. There are better Ventus options for shields like Ventus Fangzor Ultra and Ventus Dragonoid Ultra. Number 2, Aquos Dragonoid. It's Aquos and Shield, so hey, maybe mono Aquos Shield if you feel so inclined to use him, but its base stats are well below what we want in a Shield Core Bakugan, and its evolutions are too expensive for being vanillas with those B powers. Number 1, Chaos Dragonoid. This still isn't a good Bakugan, but it does have a domination effect. Core lineup isn't anything special, the base stats are around average unboosted, and its evolution is mediocre. 2 energy for 800 B power isn't bad, but it's still not anything above mediocre. Its effect boosts damage and domination, and in a perfect world it would instead boost the B power, but that's what we get. You can skip this guy because Diamond Pegatrix Ultra is a much better option for domination decks. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my hilarious Hydras, it's your boy Zeonic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode we will be ranking each Dragonoid Ultra from worst to best. We will be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 5, Darkest Dragonoid Ultra. I think they wanted to bury the old faction for Dragonoid, like how WWE buried ECW. They never made a core, and they made the Darkest Ultra one the worst one. Base stats are solid, especially with Helix cores, but then it has a 6 cost evolution with bad stats for the cost, and a Victor ability that's super situational. If you win the brawl, you can look at your opponent's hand, choose one card to play for free, and then discard it. You're telling me I need to somehow win with these stats on a Bakugan that will be played mid to late game because of the cost, and even if I win, I have to hope that my opponent has a card that I can use at the end of the turn? You could put this guy into a hand control deck, but come on. Darkest Trox is just a better version of this guy. It has a Helix Core, it's Darkest, and evolving him lets you make your opponent discard a card. It costs less and has better B power. Number 4, Aquos Dragonoid Ultra. When this guy was released, fists were at the height of their popularity, so a lot of eyes were on this guy. He had 1050 after landing on a fist core in base form, which was solid. It had a diamond evolution that was just an expensive vanilla, so we were waiting for an actual evolution that was useful to come out and give fists a second wind. But then nothing happened, and we are stuck with this. What a waste of potential. Fists aren't what they used to be and are more for beginner players now. Aquos Krakelios Ultra and Aquos Trox Ultra are much better options for fist core decks because they have actual evolutions, making them a bit better mid-game. Number 4, Phaedrus Dragonoid Ultra. The first Fury Bakugan not to be a sitting duck in base form. Its base stats with its core lineup are considered average now, but at the time of release were pretty solid. Its Fury effect raises damage, and that continues on with its evolution. Solid stats all around, but it is a 4 cost. I'd say it's around the level of Howlkor Ultra, but not better than Serpenteze Ultra, since Serpenteze Ultra reaches higher numbers when evolved and in Fury, and only costs 2 to evolve. Number 2, Ventus Dragonoid Ultra. This is what I'm looking for in a vanilla Bakugan. High B power. Its evolution isn't 8 cost, but the fact that it has an unconditional 2200 B power makes it worth it in my books. Considering Ventus brings in energized cards, and if you combine it with Pyrus and Chaos, you can get this guy out much faster. You just gotta be careful for Wayne because of the amount of effort that goes into getting Maximus Dragonoid Ultra out. Number 1, Aurelius Dragonoid Ultra. Obviously, if you have a Fire Fist in your deck, you put this guy in your deck because it reaches 1450 in base form. It's hard to take this guy out turn 1, pretty much making it a for sure victory for that turn if your opponent isn't playing a tier 1 deck. Its evolution is also only a 4 cost and hits 2450 B power. Eat your heart out, Ventus Maximus Dragonoid Ultra. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my Mega Ultra Chickens. It's your boy Zeonic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode I will be ranking each Pyrivian Ultra from worst to best. We will be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 4, Chaos Pyrivian Ultra. A vanilla Bakugan with solid base stats, but with it having no evolution, it is stuck in its base form. Plus, fists don't give it much of a boost anyways, so this Bakugan is pretty outclassed. Number 3, Aurelius Pyrivian Ultra. Same as Chaos Pyrivian Ultra, but it comes with a Shield Core, which can give it more B power than Chaos Pyrivian Ultra, but that's just it. It's still bad. Number 2, Pyrus Pyrivian Ultra. Finally, after the duds that were Pyrus Cyndeous and Pyrus Cyndeous Ultra, Shields have a solid Pyrus Bakugan, right when Shields became not as good as they once were. Base form hits 1000 beat power, which is what you want on a base form in a Shield Core deck, but where it really shines is with its evolution only costing 1 energy and hitting a hefty 1400 beat power. Number 1. Aquos Pyrivian Ultra. The best double Magic Shield Core Bakugan out there, and it's definitely a must-have in a Magic Shield Core deck. Base form hits 1050 after landing on a 650 Magic Shield Core, which is solid, but it does have a cheap one-cost evolution that helps you along with having a Frost Strike ability, which in this case isn't so bad, but really you're using this guy for the double Magic Shield. Overall, half of these guys are good, so that's good. Unfortunately, the bottom two never got evolutions, so they are stuck the way they are. Ventus Pyrivian Ultra is pretty much missing in action. It was a mediocre Bakugan anyways, but it would have at least been better than the bottom two of this list since it had an evolution. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't. I'm not the boss of you. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my updated upper managements, it's your boy Zeonic Blader, and in this video, we are going back to Bakugan Battle Planet to rank all the Pyravian Ultras. I won't be doing this with all the Battle Planet Bakugan, but Pyravian is a special case as its Ventus form was unreleased until a year after Battle Planet concluded, when it showed up in Australia and Canada. So in this video, I will be ranking every Pyravian Ultra from worst to best. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 5. Heyos Pyravian Ultra. A poor core lineup of double Green Fist and a stat line of 601. Even if it were released earlier during the Green Fist reign, Heyos Pegatrix Core would be better because that could reach 850 B power, while this only reaches 750 on the plus 150 Green Fist. Number 4. Aurelius Pyravian Ultra. A poor core lineup of Shield and Green Fist with a stat line of 504. It maxes out at 800 B power on the plus 300 Shield Core, which at the time was no longer good. Heck, in the next wave, Aurelius Hydorous Ultra would be released with its massive 1450 B power. Number 3. Ventus Pyravian Ultra. A nice core lineup that includes Fire Fist, but unfortunately a stat line of 603 that doesn't really make use of the Fire Fist. Luckily, it has an underdog ability, letting it evolve into its hyper form for free, if its B power is lower than the opposing player. Which, if this was released on time, would have been really likely, as the best Bakugan then were hitting 1350 or over. Its 3-cost Hyper Evolution bumps the stats up to 706, which personally I don't really see much use out of unless you want to do damage wins plays, but there are better Bakugan for that don't need to do an underdog effect to reach similar numbers, and Krakelios Ultra is the same, but better. Number 2. Phaedrus Pyravian Ultra. This Bakugan checks the boxes for a Shield Core deck, but unfortunately it came way too late. Phaedrus Nillious Ultra is king with 1350 B power in base form, so 1000 B power on a plus 400 Shield Core isn't gonna help it that much. Luckily, it has a really cheap one-cost Hyper Evolution that allows it to reach 1400 B power, which is solid, but it's just 50 B power more than Phaedrus Nillious Ultra in its base form. Number 1. Aquos Pyravian Ultra. The biggest draw for this Bakugan back when it was released was it being the best double Magic Shield Core Bakugan. It could reach 1050 B power on a plus 650 Magic Shield, which was just starting to get power crept when this released. It has a 1-cost Hyper Evolution that reaches 1250 and gains 3 Frost Strike if it's the only open Bakugan. But by the time this specific evolution came out, really the best teams were either Power Creep Boys, Heyos Titanilius, Serpenteze Burn, and Fury, which didn't have much need for Aquos Pyravian Ultra, though I could see it being of use in a team with Darkus Hydorous Ultra due to the core swapping. Well, this has been Zeonic Blader with my worst to best of Pyravian Ultra. It was kind of tough getting back into the mindset of 2019, so be sure to check out the original worst to best as well. What do you think? Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below, and be sure to let me know your favorite Pyravian Ultra. And if you like the video, hit the like button, or don't. I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my spicy scorpions. It's your boy Zionic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode, I will be ranking each Hydorous Core from worst to best. I'll be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 4, Hydorous Core. No evolution, has a magic shield core, but at 200 B power to start off with, it's not worth it at all. Number 3, Darkest Core. Mediocre base stats, and a diamond evolution too expensive for the B power you get, making it completely reliant on Might and Mac to win. Number 2, Phaedrus Core. Mediocre base stats, and an evolution too expensive for the stats that it brings. Phaedrus has a lot better options for a high damage hitter. Number 1, Hydorous Core. It's a slightly better version of Hydorous Core, not worth using since usually the Hydorous Bakugan in decks using Might and Mac are the starter Bakugan that win with B power while your energy still isn't in the range for Might and Mac. Overall, all these guys are bad, which is a shame because it's never good to see an entire line of Bakugan not be good. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my scornful scorpions. It's your boy Zionic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode, we'll be ranking each Hydorous Ultra from worst to best. We'll be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 2, Hydorous Ultra. Solid base stats, but it's a green fist, so it's not going to hit that high of a number. Hydorous Pegatrix is better, plus Hydorous Core never got an evolution. Number 1, Hydorous Ultra. A better version of Hydorous Ultra, but this time with a beat stick evolution costing 4 to evolve. It has an effect of gaining 10 damage when your opponent has no cards, so it could be a solid choice for Mono Darkus hand control, but these days no one plays Mono Darkus hand control for a reason. Well, that's Hydorous Ultra. Cool design, but nothing really too stand out. Hydorous Ultra was unreleased and was actually pretty good, and would have been ranked number 1 because of its effect allowing you to energize with the underdog ability, which really helps with energized decks, but because it was never released, that's all I can say. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my cylindrical centaurs, it's your boy Zionic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode, we will be ranking each Centaur Core from worst to best. We will be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 5, Phaedrus Ultra. This guy starts off with mediocre stats and evolves with a 2-cost evolution with mediocre stats again. It has an underdog effect for double strike, but really it doesn't do much. With that low B power, it's really not going to win a brawl, and double strike isn't going to help win a brawl with Might and Mac. Number 4, Hydorous Ultra. It starts off solid with a magic shield, however its evolution is on the higher side, being a 5-cost, with its effect not being too great. It would be better if it boosted its own damage, but instead it reduces your opponent's, which can help you play Might and Mac, but it is more consistent for a boost to happen with your own Bakugan since a Shadow Sneak is a huge threat. Number 3, Hydorous Ultra. This guy is just a vanilla, he isn't anything special. Number 2, Hydorous Ultra. Solid stats all around, but its damage is the most eye-catching. Since it has an underdog evolution effect, having 12 damage so early in the game is tough to get over. Its magic shield core also keeps it from not falling too behind in terms of B power. Number 1, Darkest Ultra. This guy's damage is crazy, and with a relatively cheap evolution, with Might and Mac, this guy can be a threat. Overall, a lot of these guys have high damage ratings. I'm more of a B-power kind of guy myself, so despite having a cool design, I'm not really feeling Xentar. But they aren't as bad as other Bakugan I have ranked in the past. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you. But be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my silly Cyclopses, it's your boy Zeonic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode I'll be ranking each Howlkor Core from worst to best. I'll be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 2. So I had to redo this list because first, Darkest Howlkor was going to be in first place because it had an underdog effect, but then I realized that the evolution that the effect works with never got released, and we only have the Diamond evolution. It starts off solid, so it would have been interesting to see its Hyper evolution, but instead we got a Diamond evolution which is too expensive for the stats it brings and it's not worth it. Number 1, Hydorous Ultra. Interestingly, this guy is like Ventus Fangzor Ultra, getting a boost from both Fist and Shield cores, allowing it to synergize at least a little bit, if put into a Fist or Core deck, but unlike Fangzor Ultra, this guy never got an evolution, making him forever really weak. Overall, not a good showing for a creepy Bakugan. Half of its forms weren't released, the Chaos and Aurelis ones looked interesting, and actually would have ranked higher because of their effects compared to the two that were actually released. But because they never got released, they will forever be just a thought. Okay, so I'm just recording this from my phone, so apologies if the audio sounds wacky. But after months of nothing, apparently it turns out there's been an errata where the effect for Howlkor Core, the darkest one, works with the Diamond evolution now, so that's a thing now. So I guess I put it at number 1, but I mean, it still sucks. So there's that. Okay, goodbye. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my hairy helicopters, it's your boy Zeonic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode we'll be ranking each Howlkor Ultra from worst to best. We'll be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 4, Hydorous Ultra. I mean, this guy is a vanilla with mediocre base stats and has no evolution, and having a double Fire Fist just begs for it to be mocked compared to Dragonoid Ultra. Number 3, Darkest Ultra. Solid base stats with a victor ability that makes you discard a card. Kind of weird, but really not that good. Possible for Fury, but at this point, you have a lot of discard options and Darkest Bakugan with better stats. Number 2, so these next two are kind of close, but at second place I'm putting Hydorous Ultra because its evolution for some reason, even though it's Aquas, it gets a B power boost when playing a Dargus or Ventus card. Weird. Number 1, a close call, but Hydorous Ultra takes it because it has some solid damage. Plus, it lets you draw a card. Aquas is more splashable in a deck, but it's just weird that it doesn't gain a B power boost for when Aquas cards are played, because those combos flow well with the flow. Oh well, overall it's a mediocre Bakugan line with none of them worth really being used unless you really like the Bakugan. There was a Pyrus version that never got released with double magic shield, but it had a victor ability which wasn't that good. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my pushy pandas, it's your boy Zionic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode we will be ranking each Pandox Ultra from worst to best. We will be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 3, Ventus Pandox Ultra. I'm sorry, what? Solid base stats, but if it wins, your opponent can energize a card from their hand? Why? That's bad. I guess reducing their hand, but then make them discard the card, not... I don't know, man. That extra energy benefits them, especially since Ventus is all about having more energy than your opponent. Weird. Number 2, Aquos Pandox Ultra. It's okay, average stats all around, with a solid core lineup, but it's a vanilla with no evolution. Nothing to see here. Number 1, Hydorous Pandox Ultra. This guy is really good. Great base stats and hits 1100 B power in base after landing on a plus 400 shield core. It evolves at 4, and while it only increases its B power by 100 and its damage by 1, its effect of being able to act as if all the cores attached to your Bakugan are attached to it can have you reach some crazy numbers. Overall, Hydorous Pandox Ultra is a great Bakugan to have and saves this Panda Bakugan line from extinction. Darkus and Norellus were cancelled and they had some great base stats, but since they were cancelled, we never know how good they could have been. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my ninja kids, it's your boy Zionic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode we'll be ranking each Fade Ninja from worst to best. We will be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 4, Aurelius Fade Ninja. I mean, he's a worse version of Aurelius Trhyno with no evolution. There's really not much I can say about him. Number 3, the Tier 0 Pyrus Fade Ninja. No, he's not Tier 0. No evolution squanders this guy. 850 base after landing on a Fire Fist isn't good at all. There are much better Fire Fist Pyrus Bakugan out there like Pyrus Nillious Ultra. Number 2, Aquos Fade Ninja. This one was one of the most hyped Bakugan for me because Mono Aqua Shields were a deck that I was really interested in playing. In base, it hits a nice 1000 B power that you want in a shield deck after landing on the plus 400 shield core, but unfortunately, it only has an expensive diamond evolution. Such a shame. Number 1, Ventus Fade Ninja. Finally, Turbo gets a boss monster. It's a shame it came out so late, but still, this Bakugan takes advantage of Turbo reaching some nice numbers once evolved. The only downside is that it comes with green fists. This Bakugan line isn't horrible, but is really hurt by their lack of evolutions. It's such a shame since many of these guys have great potential. Luckily, the shining light that is Ventus Fade Ninja saves this Bakugan from being a total waste. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my claustrophobic Kleenexes, it's your boy Zionic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode, we'll be ranking each Krakelios Ultra from worst to best. We'll be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. But enough talk, let's get on with the list. Number 2, Darkus Krakelios Ultra. Really, he is similar to Darkus Dragonoid Ultra. Let's be real, Fists are a newbie deck and are not as good anymore. This guy does reach higher numbers once evolved, but its evolution does cost twice as much compared to Hyper Darkus Dragonoid Ultra, so that is the price to pay. It unfortunately came way too late to see much relevance. Number 1, Phaedrus Ultra. Probably the best underdog Bakugan, allowing it to evolve into a high damage Diamond Krakelios Ultra when underdog is activated. Great with Might and Mac, especially since its evolution is playable for free, and with a Magic Shield Core, its B power isn't too far behind early game. Well, that's Krakelios Ultra, a solid lineup of Bakugan. Unfortunate to come out so late into year 1 with very little release, but hey, quality over quantity, right? Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my Mexican mammoths. It's your boy Zionic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode I'll be ranking each trunk and I don't know how to say this guy's name. Truncanius Ultra. You're gonna have to deal with this. From worst to best. We'll be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. Let's get on with the list. Number 3, Pyrus Truncanius Ultra. This guy starts off solid, but unfortunately has no evolution, squandering the potential it had in base form. It gains 2 damage for each Pyrus card played, which can be good for Might and Mac, but Pyrus does have a lot of cheap damage boosting cards I can stack with. Number 2, Ventus Truncanius Ultra. I almost made this guy last place, but its base form stats are really good unboosted. Unfortunately, its evolution is incredibly expensive with very little boost in the beat power. It has an okay Victor ability, but still, 6 cost to evolve and 900 beat power isn't gonna help. Heck, it does have a substantial boost in damage, but Might and Mac users dwarf it still. Number 1, Darkus Truncanius Ultra. It is a Darkus Bakugan with Magic Shield and Fire Fist, so it does have that going for it. Its evolution is relatively cheap and lets you discard a flip card to increase damage by 5, which is great for Might and Mac, but really flips are better off being used as energy fodder if anything, really hurting this guy in the long run. Well, that's a shame. Such an interesting design and all it has to offer are mediocre forms. Not the worst Bakugan, but definitely below average. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello my grave grapes, it's your boy Zionic Blader and welcome to another worst to best video. In this episode I'll be ranking each Dragonoid Ultra from worst to best. I'll be ranking them based off their overall stats, their evolutions, and their place in decks. Let's get on with the list. Number 3, Darkus Dragonoid Ultra. Honestly, this guy is just a worse version of Aquos Dragonoid Ultra. It increases damage for each Darkus card played, and there aren't many useful cheap Darkus cards as well to stack with this, so... Plus, since you are combining this with Might and Mac, your energy is very limited for the stacking of this effect. Number 2. Personally, these next 2 were tough since I dislike one more, but objectively it is technically better. But at second I have Aquos Dragonoid Ultra, which is my favorite Dragonoid Ultra because of its truck-like effect, gaining a B-power boost with each Aquos card played. Plus, with a magic shield, this guy can get to some high B-power numbers. Unfortunately, it has no evolution, making it stuck with what it has, and unlike Aurelius Trox that gains a boost with every card played, this guy is limited to Aquos, which admittedly isn't too bad, but still Aurelius Trox is a better version. Number 1, Aurelius Dragonoid Ultra. The only Dragonoid to actually have evolutions, and this guy has 2. A very interesting effect, allowing it to evolve with Underdog not once, but twice, effectively giving you a 1600 beat power, 12 damage beat stick in turn 1. Maybe. However, because of the nature of this Bakugan, you need to build a deck around it, which really limits you. This guy will be in the 2000s hopefully once fully evolved, and while impressive, for the amount of luck and effort needed, it may not be worth it. Dragonoid Ultra is an interesting guy. It has a similar toy design to Pandox with that weird back thing, though I think Dragonoid works better with it since it is a robot. There was a Hydorous Dragonoid Ultra that never got released, and it has some solid base stats with a Helix Core, making it a possible contender as a Hydorous Bakugan for a Helix Core deck. Unfortunately, it never got released. This lineup isn't bad, but it isn't good as well. Aurelius and Aquos Dragonoid Ultra are worth picking up if you do like the design at least. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya. Hello, my promotional Pringles! It's your boy Zionic Blader, and instead of ranking Bakugan from worst to best, today I'll be ranking cards from worst to best. Well, there's hundreds of cards available, so I'm gonna put myself into a theme. In this video, I will be ranking the GameStop and Toys R Us Bakugan Battle Planet promos from worst to best. We'll be looking at if these cards are worth putting into a deck, or if they are worth just being locked away forever in your binder. Let's get to it. Number 5. Counter Pyrus. Pretty much all flips that are not Stop Outsiders or Black Hole aren't worth using with your limited space in deck building. You want to use the most consistent lineup of cards, especially since sideboards are not a thing in this game to let you swap cards between matches. Whatever is in your deck is what you gotta use for the entire round, so situational cards like Counter Pyrus aren't worth using. Also, another reason why this card is the worst promo is because it took the place of a possible Chaos promo. Why you gotta snub faction representation for a bad card? Number 4. Aquos Hyper Serpenteze Ultra. Aquos Serpenteze Ultra is one of the worst Serpenteze Ultras, so its evolution isn't gonna be good either. But I did not expect it to be that bad. 5 cost for 500 B power? 8 damage is only slightly above average, but for a 5 cost, these stats are horrible. The 3 Frost Strike isn't gonna do anything if you can never win a brawl. This evolution is plain bad. And why is this card number 4 and not last? Well, if you're ever forced to use Aquos Serpenteze Ultra, God rest your soul, then you'd probably put this card in your deck, but there is never a reason to use Counter Pyrus. Number 3. Ventus Titan Maxotaur Ultra. Maxotaur Ultra has been cursed with almost every form of it not being good. Ventus is one of the bad ones. The evolution is just a less bad version of Aquos Hyper Serpenteze Ultra that we just looked at. The cost is too expensive to warrant what you get out of the stats, especially for what is a vanilla Bakugan. Number 2. Prismatic Bolt. Prismatic Bolt is a bad action card. It splits the boosting in both B power and damage instead of focusing on one. Because of that, the bonus that you get for the energy is not worth it, which is sad because the art for this promo is my favorite out of all of them. This is number 2 on the list because every other card prior is just worse. Number 1. Out of all of these promo cards, this is the only one that can be put into a deck. Fire Boost gives you a decent amount of B power for the cost. There are better B power boosting action cards for the same cost from different factions, but compared to what Pyrus has to offer, this is the best bang for your buck. I use this card in my Fire Fist Fury deck with Aurelus Garganoid Ultra, Darkus Hydorous Ultra, and Pyrus Serpenteze Ultra. My faction lineup did not allow me for that many B power boosting cards to choose from, so Fire Boost was a solid choice for my Fury deck that only had Darkus and Pyrus cards in its card pool. Well, that was the top 5 promo cards ranked from worst to best. Overall, these promo cards weren't really that good. That's probably why they tend not to sell in the secondary market, but considering there are people that take all the promo cards and leave none for everyone else, maybe that's for the best. Hopefully Bakugan Armored Alliance has a bit more to offer. But anyways, this has been Zionic Blader, and I will catch you on the flip side. See you later.